Good morning, good morning. What's going on, film fam? Welcome to another episode of Chopping Willie in the Morning, brought to you by Let the Film Speak. I am one of your hosts, Chop. Here with my main man, Willie Jack. Willie Jack, how you feeling this morning, big dog?
Hey man, it's Victory Sunday, man. Feeling good, feeling great. You know what I'm saying? I'm right outside the club, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking through the window. I'm just trying to get in that thing. But yeah, I'm excited, man. Last week of the season, week at 18. I can't wait to get it going.
Absolutely, Willie Jack. And I know you over there, anxious, man. You got two different ways you can get in here, man. You need
Yeah,
one of those
man.
things to happen for you, man. So hey, I'm hoping it happens for you. I'm hoping for a specific way that it happens for you, but
Yeah.
we just gonna have to wait and see, Willie Jack. That's why the game is played, man. The game is played, and y'all know
Let's
what it
go.
is today, man. It's the Week 18 morning show. Of course, me and Willie Jack, we're gonna preview each and every game. Going to a little bit different today because this is going to be the last game for a lot of teams today. You know, a lot of teams are hoping to get into the playoffs, man. So this is going to be an exciting week for a lot of different reasons. So we definitely gonna jump into that. But before we do that, y'all know what it is, man. We got the house rules. The house rules are the same as always, man. That's like, that's share, that's subscribe, and also hit that notification bell, man. Just become the newest member of the film fam. Holler at your partners, let them know what's going on, man. If you in the room and your partners ain't in the room with you enjoying what you enjoying, man, holler at them, let them know to come on over, man. Holler at your boys as well. Be in the know of when me and Willie Jack got some stuff coming up. It's about to get real hot. The playoffs are coming up and they're right around the corner. So be in the know what's going on. If you do all those different things, I guarantee you, Willie Jack, we will not let you down. All right.
Real quick, Jay. I just thought of, man, when you was giving them house rules, it made me think like, man, what type of dog are you if you keep it to yourself? You know what I'm saying? It ain't no fun if the homies don't get nothing. What are we doing?
I mean, that's
If
what
you
I
ain't get
thought.
down, if you don't bring them in, come on, man.
Hey,
Like
absolutely, Willie
that.
Jack. You're absolutely right. That's what I grew up on, man. Hey,
Yeah,
you
man.
holler at your partners, and then also what you doing by yourself anyway? Because when your mama told you when you left the house that one rule was when you was with your partners is y'all stay together. You know what I'm saying? So if
Hey,
you
everybody who
if
leave
your
together
partner
come
ain't
back
with
home
you,
together.
y'all better make sure y'all together. So I don't know
Yeah,
what's going on, Willie Jack, man. I
yeah,
don't
for
know what's
sure.
happening, dog. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, man, like I said, house rules, same as always. Make sure y'all do that, and like I said, we won't let you down. Last week of weekly picker, man. It's the last week, Willie Jack, man, and it's coming down to the wire. We got Pick'em
Yeah.
and Stick'em in first place, up by one, right in front of Sierra. Sierra been holding on to this league all year, and now she's one behind. But hey, she still has an opportunity. She still has a chance to get those picks in and come away with the W. And let's see who is and let the film speak. Weekly pick'em champion after this week of games, man. So make sure you get those picks in. All right. Ain't no games on Monday, so you ain't got no other
That's
time.
right.
Time is now. Ain't no Monday games. So make sure y'all get them picks in. All right. Perfect. Willie Jack, they falling in right now, man. What's going on? Did anybody fall in, or you want me to go ahead and go and we come back on the film fam check in? What you
Yeah,
feeling?
man, we see y'all in the views, man. But ain't enough people in my chat, man. But my deuces first to the building as always, man. We appreciate you, lady. Said good morning to the film fam, and shout out to those Steelers for a win. Have a blessed show. We appreciate you, lady. But yeah, the rest y'all see y'all later. I know you wiping that sleep out your eyes. Go ahead, get real comfortable, buckle up, and drop some in my chest. We can holler at you, big dog.
Absolutely, Willie Jack. And what better way to start this Sunday morning show off than with one of our own home team, man, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They go to Baltimore, they get the W on the road that they needed in order to keep their playoff hopes alive. And now they just need a little bit of help. They can get in, they can get the help that they need. They are in the dance, they're in the playoffs, and we all know how that goes when you get there, man. Anything can happen. But the Steelers win this game on the road 17-10. Willie Jack, what was your take on this one?
Man, I tell you what, man. This was a nerve-wracking game for you, dog, man. It was an ugly game. Of course, the Ravens set more than a few of their key players. Lamar doesn't play in this game, obviously. Odell Beckham doesn't play. Marlon Humphrey doesn't play, and Roquan Smith doesn't play. So those are the four. And Kevin Zeitler for the offensive line didn't play. So they had some pretty major players that didn't play in this game, but a lot of guys played. Davion Clowney and Kevin Van Noy both played. Metabuke played. In a litany of other guys. And then for us, man, we come out and honestly, the second drive of the season, or the second drive of this game, we really get Najee going. We run the ball all the way down the field. We score and punch it in. And from there, I thought it was going to be smooth sailing because the defense is playing well. We're shutting out the Baltimore. I think they go 3 and out on their first 3 possessions. But then honestly, man, with the weather becoming more and more of a factor, turnovers for us, we had several fumbles. Honestly, from Jalen Warren, man, the young hot stuff from the team, the guy that a lot of guys been cheering for to take over that starting spot. And man, he had a couple fumbles in this game. I know one or two of them in definite field goal range. Mason Rudolph had a sack fumble or two in this one as well. And so we kind of took points off the board for ourselves and made this one a little tougher than we should have and then we had to. But when it was all said and done, namely behind, man, very strong performance, 2 in a row from Najee Harris, man. He was running like an animal last week in Seattle. And then again in this one as well. He goes 26 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown in this one. And this is the type of game you really got to play defense, ground and pound it out, especially with the weather the way it was. And we did just that. TJ Watt had a big day before he goes out. I think he had 8 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, and 2 sacks in this game. But then gets a little bit of friendly fire, dog. And now they saying my dog may have a grade 3 MCL sprain. And so if that's the case, make the playoffs or not, he may have to miss a couple weeks. You know what I mean? And so I guess there'll be some testing. They'll make that announcement officially. But yeah, man, won the game like we needed to, but man, at a terrible cost, man. If we lost TJ before we go into these playoffs, man, that is a huge loss for us. But like I said, man, right now we got a chance to get into the dance, and so waiting to see if our number gets called.
Absolutely, Willie Jack. And speaking of TJ Watt, man, I think we need to get a little bit more noise around him in terms of this Defensive Player of the Year award. And if I had to pick, I think he is my choice of the Defensive Player of the Year. We know that at some point throughout this year, Myles Garrett had a strong hold on it, but I feel like Myles Garrett's impact on the game kind of dwindled a little bit, you know what I'm saying, down the stretch, and he wasn't as impactful on the game, especially when he came around that time where he was suffering that shoulder injury. You know, it was a few games where Myles Garrett went very quiet, and meanwhile, TJ Watt was still doing his thing, you know, and then we're still getting a lot of talk from Michael Parsons. I know I talked to Ryan Bland up earlier, but I mean, I don't know if he's had an interception since, you know, about 4 or 5 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different players that are names out there, but I feel like TJ Watt needs probably the most recognition for this Defensive Player of the Year award. But going into this game, this is one of those things where you would expect, or most people would think, like, oh man, the Ravens are sending some people. This is going to be an easy game. Well, no, man, because a lot of the defense of the Ravens play, and they still came out and they showed up and ready to play. You know, and it also, you know, you got to give it credit to Harbaugh because this shows the preparation of this team, how they get themselves together and they're ready to play each and every week. And nothing is a walk in the park. Nothing is a walk in the park. We got a good foundation, and as long as you got a good foundation, you know, this is. You got a good chance to win. And then not only that, this is still a rivalry team. So if there's anybody that wanted to knock the players out for good and for sure, it was the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens definitely wanted to knock the Steelers out and not giving them an opportunity to win the playoffs. But, you know, the Steelers, kudos to them. They do what they need to do, and they take care of business. It was a tough one. It was a hard-fought one, but they did what they needed to do in this particular game. And then Najee Harris, that was one thing I do want to point out too. I know you pointed out his yardage, but over the last 3 games, man, over 300 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. And this is big because this is what they're going to need from him if you guys do make the playoffs in order to help your quarterback situation out, help this passing attack, and just also keep your defense off the field. Like that's going to be the recipe for you guys in order to kind of move through the playoffs and have some success. Because if not, if you guys aren't able to run the ball well, that's going to make things much harder on Mason Rudolph. You know, who is, I mean, just being honest, he is the 3rd string quarterback on this team. You know, so you want to make things as easy as possible. But now, kudos to the Steelers, and I like the way Najee Harris has been looking over the past 3 weeks for you guys.
No doubt, man. And then our dog ZB, man, he's in the chat for sure. He said he's got the Ravens losing their playoff opener. He says a half resting, but I think he means to say he hates when you rest players if you have the bye. First half might be rusty in their playoff game, and that's interesting, man, because I think I generally kind of lean the same way a lot of the times as well. If you have that bye, because you can over-rest. Like, over-resting is a real thing. You know what I mean? And so they're going to have 3 weeks off because the players they sat, namely, let's say Lamar, then they've got there's like a little down week. I think I saw a graphic. They're going to have like 18 days, which is roughly 3 weeks between Lamar's last game and then his first game of the playoffs. That's 3 weeks or the better part of a month off of playing live live fire football. And so that is a lot to overcome. And so, no, you make a good point there, ZB. Now, the only thing I would say with the weather, the way it is, the way it was last night, I mean, torrential downpour. It was Noah's flood rain in Baltimore last night. It was terrible. And so with that type of weather, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay with them sitting because just the risk of injury is so much greater. Just with the way that weather was, honestly.
That's a good point, Willie Jack.
So that one makes me feel a little better. But a lot of the times, though, I agree with ZB because I saw those Peyton Manning Colts teams for years. Tony Dungy was a guy. There was a lot of years where Peyton and those Colts would start like 13-0 and lock up the division, and Tony Dungy would start resting guys in weeks 15 and 16. So like they would, and a lot of I think a lot of that had to do with the Colts' early exits in some of those playoff years, and not really maybe reaching the heights that they could have reached because Tony Dungy was a big rest guy, and so yeah, they were over rested. Like you said, you lose, you know what I mean? You lose that. Just the being in the action. Now you got to reacclimate, and you've got guys coming to the ring just like if you're a boxer. You shouldn't be a boxer going into the ring cold. And so nobody wants to be a boxer trying to get loose and warm your muscles up by round 2 or 3, where you got a killer who's been fighting and clawing to get here, and he's in a full sweat and he's ready to go. And so that's a very, very good comment from our dog ZB for sure.
Gotcha, Willie Jack. And I just realized something, Willie Jack. I just sent you a message, but I figured this is what it is. I don't even know if we need to even talk about it, but we'll talk about it when we get to it. So,
oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. But let's go ahead and move on to the next game, then, Willie Jack. Let's go to the other game we had yesterday. We had the Houston Texans. They went to Indianapolis to take on the Colts, man, and the Texans come away with this win on the road, man. First and foremost, shout out to head coach DeMeco Ryans, man. In your very first year as a head coach, you guys go out and you get the job done, and you make or find your way into the playoffs. I think you're going to have one of those wild card seeds, and of course everything else just has to play out. Have to see how everything else goes. But congratulations to DeMeco Ryans. I'm sorry.
No,
talk to me.
Not just a rookie coach and a wild card. They won the division. I thought that Texas Colts game was going to decide the division last night.
You right. It did. So, they did win the division.
They locked in for a playoff spot and won
in a home game.
Yes, Sirski. So it was a great accomplishment building that team to a wild card team. They went a step further than that.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. I sold you guys short. Yeah. I sold you guys. Okay, so let me do this over. Congratulations, DeMeco Ryan, for putting together in your first year as a head coach a division winner, and now, quite frankly, I'm starting to think about this. Is this going to be the new team to beat, like for years to come in that division?
Hey,
like
it's looking like it
before this year, and actually at the beginning of this year. I would imagine everybody felt like the Jacksonville Jaguars was going to be able to run away with this division, especially with this being the first year for DeMeco Ryans. Also,
2 rookie quarterbacks
and CJ Stroud. It was like
Anthony Richardson was also a rookie in that division. Remember?
Anthony Richardson also a rookie. So like nobody, let alone make the playoffs, nobody expected that. But to win this division, oh man, that's a huge accomplishment, man. I can't stop. I got to give him his praises for that, man.
And you know what?
Shout out to DeMeco Ryans, man.
And bigger than just him being a rookie, like you said, rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, and then the offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowick, his first time ever calling plays as well. Rookie offensive coordinator, rookie play caller. And so 3 rookies at the 3 most critical parts of the team and the team's leadership. And so that's an amazing stat. That's an amazing accomplishment for sure.
Absolutely. Sure. Now jumping to the game, Willie Jack. Another congratulations to the Texans and the way that they performed. I think they put together a good performance. They took advantage of opportunities, and they came out in this game from jump, letting the coach know that, hey, man, we're not here to play. We're here to make a statement. And it was the first play of the game, CJ Stroud to Nico Collins. And I don't know if you guys heard me from earlier in the season. If you haven't understood or realized that Nico Collins is a guy by now, man, you should have realized it yesterday when you saw him play, man. Tons of yardage, a game changer for sure, and just a baller. You know what I'm saying? A big receiver for sure. And other than that play, it was another catch later in the game where he made a dive.
No, he had a couple big catches. Yeah,
like he had big catches throughout this game. Just from start to finish. And you can tell that he was the guy that the Houston Texans were planning on going to when it was on the line. When it was on the line, it was like, all right, well, we got to go to our guy. And that's the true sign of a number one receiver and a guy that's a true difference maker on this team. So, good performance by the Houston Texans. But I'll say this, Willie Jack, and I got to be honest, as good as the Houston Texans played on offense and as good as C.J. Stroud was, Indianapolis coach still had an opportunity, and I feel like they dropped
it. They didn't lay down
in a few different ways. They didn't lay down, but I feel like they dropped this game in a few different ways. And it started with the first drive. With the first drive, Gardner Minshew, and we talked about this as well, whether we're going to have the Gardner Minshew that's going to make a lot of mistakes or the Gardner Minshew they can play clean football. They can actually put them in position to win these games. Now, he didn't turn the ball over, but he still missed or this team he missed a throw on their first drive of this game. It could have been a touchdown to tie this game or to start them off at a 7-0 lead, which would have been a tie game after Nico Collins would have came back. But he missed the throw. He throws the ball out of bounds, and they have to settle for a field goal, which, of course, leads to that Nico Collins touchdown. Then on top of that, they miss a field goal, I believe, in their first half of this game, too, which takes some points off of the board.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor was a man in this game. Man. And that was another thing. It was like this team has the recipe to be very, very competitive in the playoffs if they were able to get there because of this. Jonathan Taylor ran the ball very well. They leaned on him, and they were able to do a lot of the things they needed to do to keep them in this game. Now, here's the thing, and Willie Jack, I'm going to throw this one to you because I got a question for you, and I want to know what are your thoughts on the way the Indianapolis coach approached that last drive, because I had a little bit of an issue with that, but I want to know your thoughts on it. I know sometimes you have a little bit of a difference in terms of how we view it, but there's 6 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
The Indianapolis Colts have all 3 timeouts, and they're down 6. Okay, just there's 2 field goals.
That's right. Yeah. Houston missed the extra point. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to make that clear because down 7 and down 6 is 2 different things. I want to make sure we understand it. So they're down 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do not like the approaches they took because their approach was, instead of trying to show a sense of urgency and get down the field and try to get in scoring position as soon as possible, they methodically took their time. They said, all right, we're going to run all the clock out of here while we're trying to make this drive, end up try to score a game-winning touchdown, and then we walk away with this W. I don't like that because, one, you don't know how many you want to give yourselves as many opportunities as possible. You want as many opportunities to score as possible. Like I said, you're down 2 field goals and you still got all 3 timeouts. It's 6 minutes on the clock. So even if you don't get a chance to score that touchdown, you got 3 timeouts to get the ball back and possibly get back in field goal position again with maybe 3 minutes left on the clock, depending on how you orchestrate this drive. I just don't like the sense of urgency. I mean, the lack of sense of urgency within that drive. And I think it just limited them to one opportunity, which of course came down to the play where, and I really don't like this one, where you take your best player out of the game, you put in his backup, and then you throw at his backup. You throw a swing pass or a quick out route to the backup running back. Now, a lot of people may say, well, this is the pass catcher. No. Jonathan Taylor is not a slouch when it comes to being a pass catcher out of the backfield. And you do not, in my opinion, that's if you're going to throw at your running back, you need to be you need to go to your best guy. Your season is on the line here. You know, this is it for you guys. So for me, I felt like I didn't like that play call, and I just didn't like the lack of sense of urgency there. And then even before that, they used one of the timeouts, so they didn't even have all 3 to preserve as much time as possible if they didn't make that 4th and 1. So I just wanted to turn it over to you, Willie.
Okay.
Tell me what was your thoughts on that? I know you want to jump into the game as well, but what was your thoughts on how they approached that last drive?
No, and see, this is the difference I would say is because I don't think 6 minutes doesn't necessarily jump you into your 2-minute warning, because 6 minutes, like you said, is plenty of time. I like the idea of us having the ball, because the person who has the ball has control of the game. Because playing in defense is reaction. It's not action. You know what I'm saying? We know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing we can do. Our job, no matter how great we are as defenders or whatever, we're reacting to something that somebody does to us. So the person who has a chance to be the aggressor is the person that's in control of the moment. You know what I'm saying? And then whether or not they get stopped. And so defense already automatically puts you in a secondary style position. So in a playoff game with our destiny in our own hands, I would definitely rather be the guy shooting than the guy try to dodge the bullet. And so I think that's what the Colts were in that situation. And so with 6 minutes at home, and especially the way they were running the ball, I don't mind that they used all that time to kill the clock, because now we can go win this game right here. So it makes me think of just like when we're all young, you're all kids, and you're about to shoot some trash to the trash can. Everybody counts down 3, 2, and everybody wants to shoot for the basket right at 1 because you want to win that game going away. You know what I'm saying? You don't want the other team to have a chance to get the ball. So if you make that basket and you're only up by 1 point, well, you don't want 6 seconds for the other team to try to run down the court, throw a half-court shot in, and then steal that one away, because we see that happen as well. And so I don't hate that philosophy as far as taking the ball into our own hands and bleeding out this clock and not putting them back on the field. Because another thing as well, especially as explosive as that Texans offense is and can be, and they got a good dose of that right out the gate. First play from scrimmage for the Texans, 75 up top. You know what I'm saying? And so let's say we go down, we're a little more aggressive, kind of like you're saying, and we play for a second possession inside of 3 minutes. Well, let's say with that first one, they hit us again. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it's not at all a guarantee that we're going to get the 3 and out that we need, because that's really what you're banking on.
Absolutely. I guess my thoughts on it back. Yeah, I guess my original thoughts was, I just feel like when you're down, you don't. I feel like they were down and they played this game like they were in control of it. And versus like they were down, like you're down 6 points. You need to score. Like, this is your season. Like, I would want more opportunities to score a touchdown being down, because I'm not in position. Like, I don't have the control of this game. I need a touchdown. I need to score, or else my season is over. And I don't know. That was my thoughts on it.
No, and see, and what's a good thing about that as well is I think it is a big difference, because they were down 6 instead of 7. So I think if you need 7 to tie, and then you're playing to go into overtime, then I think maybe you do be a little more aggressive, because it's also, if you're down 7 and you score the 7 and give the ball back to the other team, well, now they've got pressure, because they don't want to be too aggressive and make a mistake, like throw a frivolous turnover or just put their quarterback in a position to be sacked, which he could be, he can fumble, he can get hurt. And so then how many times do we see teams where, okay, it's a tie ball game, time's a little low, we'll have 2 runs and a knee and just get to overtime, because then you put the pressure back on the other team. But I think because Houston missed that extra point, and now it is a 6-point ball game, and now we score, and now we're counting on our guy knocking in an extra point to actually win the game. So I think that also I think could have a play in it as well. But so I'm not mad at that, because I feel like they took control of the moment. Like they put it on, because like it or otherwise, the offense has the chance to dictate the games for everybody's team. You know what I mean? And so, just like you said, I want to be the guy holding the gun. And so I'm not mad at that. Now, the other point about that, the 4th down play, I'm with you that I don't like going away from our studs and our stars in the game, especially Chop, when my best player on the team has 30 touches for 188 yards and he already broke a 50-yard touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And so when we're running the ball that successfully behind our best player, and if it's going to be a ride or die, do or die moment, then I want to leave. I want to die on the horse that brought me here. You know what I'm saying? They say leave on the horse that brought you here. And so I would rather have something where Jonathan Taylor's on the field. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about that as well is I think if JT's running that swing route, he's not wide open, because he's going to draw attention. And so that's why I guess I can see the philosophy behind, okay, well, and it's not even the backup. You said they brought in the backup. They brought in the 3rd string back, because Zach Moss is the backup. It wasn't even Zach Moss.
You're right.
I can't even think of that kid's name now. And so he's a guy that when he's in his jersey, his name doesn't ring any bells. And that probably honestly helped him be wide open. Because if we're on defense, we know this is the game. Okay, let's look for their guys. Okay, where's Michael Pittman? Okay, there's Michael Pittman. Where's Mo Alley Cox, who had a big 2-point conversion in this game? You know what I'm saying? Where's Josh Downs had a couple big catches in? You know what I'm saying? So we're looking for all their guys. Nobody knows the number of, what is it, number 31, the 3rd string guy? You know what I'm saying? So he might get overlooked and he did. And so I know, and I watched that play back last night, bro, probably 8 times, because I know everybody that I felt like talked about the play called it a drop. And yeah, he got his hands on it, and so it's a drop. Gardner Minshew should have gave him a better ball, because he has to turn and pirouette and kind of it's behind him. And so, but that could be a couple things. He could have ran that it's like a rail almost, you know what I'm saying? Because he didn't just bubble out and just stay kind of flat like just a traditional swing where you don't really get upfield. He ran it more like a rail, or like he was kind of turning upfield a little bit. And so Gardner throws a little flatter, and so there was a miscommunication there, which also is what happens when you're throwing to your third string guy. Like how many reps do they have together? Even on something as simple as that swing or rail, but how many of those reps do they have? And then also this guy, your third string back, I don't know if he had a snap. How many snaps had he had in the game? And now we're asking him to make the play that's going to save the season.
That's all my points, man.
Yeah, so I'm with you there, but the even with all that said, man, the play was there. Gardner needs to throw a better ball, and then also the third string back in that moment. Man, that's that old saying, bro. That you put both hands on that one. Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but if he had time to catch that one fall and roll over before he got touched, still get the first down. Or
it was first down easy if they complete that.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And so maybe just poor execution by both Minshew and the back in that situation. But as far as them having the ball, let's stay in control, winding down that clock, and then having a chance to really kind of win. Because even when they gave the ball back, Houston got the ball back with like 1:03. So they still weren't up against the clock, and they were going to be on like the 15 or 12-yard line going in, first down with a minute. They still had their own 2 timeouts. So they had an eternity to win that game if they make that play. I'm not mad at that, but no, man, it was a good game, man. A very good game. Like I said, both stars showed up to play. CJ Stroud definitely showed up. 20 for 26, 264 yards, the 2 touchdowns, got it started right out the gate. And then, like you said, man, the star on the other side, Jonathan Taylor, ran for damn near 200 yards in this one, but just didn't. That's the thing, too, man. I never want to lose the game and then have to explain why Jordan was on the bench. Like, I don't want to lose the game and Kobe was watching, you know what I'm saying? Kobe's watching Derek Fisher put up a brick. Like, why? What are we doing? That I don't like that, but I'm not mad about them, like I said, taking that ball and like I said, taking the air out the ball and trying to win it right then and there. I'm not mad at that. I can't blame them for that one.
Okay, I got you, Willie Jack. Yeah. All right. Well, there go your Saturday games, man. We got the Saturday games out of the way. We go ahead. I'm sorry. What's up?
No, man. My bad, man. Our dog ZB had
had
a couple comments, man, before we move on, and he makes a very good point, man. Colts were and this is an issue for the Colts, of course, but this is a credit to DeMeco Ryans' defense. 0 for 11 on third down, and that really was a defining factor, not just for this game, but it speaks to the job that DeMeco Ryans and that defense have done. Have done over this last, let's say, month or so of the season, where that defense has really came into its own, and so we've definitely seen a large uptick in sack production from Will Anderson, who is, I think he's somewhere now around, I think he's at 7-8 sacks now for the season. Playing very well. And Derek Stingley as well, who once he came back from IR, he's playing very good the second half of the season. And so, yeah, going 0 for 11 is definitely a shout out and kudos to DeMeco Ryans and just the rapid improvement we've seen from that defensive unit, which also carried them over that dry spell where they lose CJ Stroud for 2 games due to concussion. Now they win 1 and lose 1, but that very well could have been 0-2. And if they go 0-2 in that stretch, then they don't win this division right now to last night. And so, kudos to that defense who kept them in the second half of this season, man. They're playing like a top 10, 12 unit for sure. I don't know those numbers, but they've definitely had a huge uptick in their defensive production for sure this second half. And that's a kudos to DeMeco Ryans. And it shows last night, man, when you held a team at home to win their division, they go 0 for 11 on third down. That's massive. That's massive for sure.
Absolutely. All right, Willie Jack, man. Let's get into some of these games today, man. We got the Sunday games on the slate. We got a bunch of them, man. Hey, and for once, we finally get Well, I don't know if it's an equal amount, but we get a decent amount of 12 o'clock games and a decent amount of 3 o'clock games, man. So it ain't just 2 or 3 games on at 3 o'clock today, man. It's gonna be a plethora of them. So we got good football going on all day today, Willie Jack, man. So I don't
For
know.
sure.
It makes me excited, but we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. First game on the docket, man. We got to talk about Cleveland. Cleveland Browns, they go to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals at home. Willie Jack, who you got in this game?
I'm taking the Bengals. Cleveland's already locked into their 5 seed, so they're playing. I guess they're playing. Oh, there we go. First matchup of the playoffs, man. Houston and Cleveland. Cleveland going to Houston. I should say Houston's going to host that game as the division winner. But Joe Flacco, he's sitting this one, and I think a handful of other key players, of course, and they're going on the road. They don't have anything to play for, and so the Bengals, also their seasons. This is it for them. You know what I'm saying? Cancun on 3. You know what I mean? But you still want to end the season if you can. 3. Hey, you ain't got nothing to play for, big dog. There is no tomorrow for the Bengals locker room, man. You know what I mean? So, but they get a chance to just try to end this game on as high a note as you can. Go out with the win as opposed to going out with the loss. Because either way, there is no Monday. There is no Monday for this Bengals team. You know what I'm saying? And so they have a little bit to play for, just to put a good taste in your mouth before you guys sit and think and have to stew on how the season went wrong for you guys for the next 6-7 months. And so I'll take the Bengals to get this one done. I think that Cleveland defense is still gonna have enough players to still be stingy. Myles Garrett's not going to play in this one. Like I said, he's one of those guys who's going to sit for sure. But I'm taking Cincinnati 23-16 to like I said, get a win out the door, man, on the way to Cancun.
I got you, Willie Jack, and I'm with you there too. I'm going Cincinnati on the road in this game too, with the Browns resting a lot of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one team. I think the drop off. I don't see this game being similar as the game we saw yesterday with the Steelers and Ravens. With the Ravens not having some of their players, I think there will be a larger drop off from who the Browns are with their starters and who the Browns are without them. And I think that's going to be a big deal for this Cincinnati Bengals team, who's going to be playing all of their starters. Who's in terms of Joe Mixon, and I don't know if Chase is going to play. It wouldn't be smart. I don't think Chase will be playing in this game, especially with him dealing with that shoulder injury. It would make more sense for them to just go ahead and sit him out, let him rest, and get back right for the next season. But I can see this being a good showcase game for a guy like T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, because there's been a lot of talks about T. Higgins not being on this team for the 2024-2025 season. So, this could be a good showcase game to, for teams to kind of look and see and ultimately, kind of decide like, well, I don't think he's going to be there, but go ahead.
I know I was going to say before I didn't want you to get too far, because I think T. Higgins is going to be out. I don't think T. Higgins is going to play, because I think he's been nursing a hamstring. I think last injury report I saw he was doubtful, so I don't think Higgins is going to go.
Okay, well, thank you. I
didn't want you to get too far, and then I was like, hold on, I don't think Higgins is going. But I could be wrong. I mean, it could, unless it's been updated since the last time I seen it. But last time I saw, I think T. Higgins was doubtful.
Well, I will say this then: if we have seen him play his last game. I'm curious to see in the offseason, because this game is not going to mean anything for either team. The Cincinnati Bengals or the Cleveland Browns. Mm-hmm. Where they are is where they are. Maybe for the draft pick, maybe some things could kind of change a little bit. So, but other than that, I don't see anything else changing in terms of these teams. But that's why I'm kind of looking more so into the offseason. The offseason of who's going to be there. And you're right, Willie Jack. T. Higgins is doubtful in this game. Yeah. So I don't know if he's going to be playing. So we'll see how that works. But and it also shows Jamar Chase fully healthy. So I guess he may play. I don't know how smart that is, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah. But I want to know what the future holds for guys like T. Higgins and even Tyler Boyd. I think Joe Mixon is going to stay, just off the simple fact that he already took a pay cut, but I'm curious to see how everything else works out. Willie Jack, you got any potential? Thank you. You got any potential like landing spots or anything, or what you think is going to happen for next year for T. Higgins?
And so I definitely think, and our dog ZB, he jumped in as well. He's curious to see where Higgins goes next year. He said he thinks that Boyd stays. They seem to like him, and honestly, I think both those guys are going. I think Tyler Boyd, he played at Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh, and so but he's been there for a while. But I think I don't feel like he's been a true factor on this team for 4 years. He's almost a forgotten guy. And then so I don't see. Unless he comes back very favorably as far as a contract is concerned, I don't necessarily see him as a. I don't see him as a vital piece of this offense going forward. Honestly, I think this offense has kind of moved past him, and I think they can upgrade that third slot receiver style position. Now T. Higgins, I think he's definitely gone, and I think he's doubtful because now if I'm T. Higgins, this is my last year here. They don't have enough money to pay me because I hate that we have to use you as the example, Big Dog, because you are a fantastic player in your own right. But when Christian Kirk can hit the open market last year and set the market at what $20 to $24 million, and now I'm 6'4", 220-pound T. Higgins, and in the right circumstance, I've shown that I can be a featured guy. I'm not playing in this lose it game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not playing in this loser game. I'm sitting down, I'm nursing my hamstring, and I'm handling business. You know what I'm saying? If Cincinnati wants to bring me back and we can try to figure that out, that's one thing. But all signs point to he's going to be a casualty for this team, and they'll go back to the drawing board in the drafts. And so teams that could definitely use them. We know some of the obvious ones, man, but like Kansas City, I don't know if Kansas City wants to or has the cap room, you know what I mean, to go get a guy like T. Higgins. Of course, they're desperate for a guy like him. But that's a place that I would like to see because he's a big rangy receiver, a guy that could definitely stretch the field, and I think he would add something kind of to that receiver group that they got now. They got Rashee Rice, the rookie, who's fantastic after the catch, and he seems to be he seems to be a guy that's going to be a cornerstone of that room going forward. But I think T. Higgins is a guy that can really threaten the field 50 yards at a time in a way that was different from Tyreek. It's not just blazing speed, but he's one of those guys where he's 50 yards up the field and it looks like there's a guy on his hip and it don't matter. You know what I mean? And Patty's a guy that we know that can take advantage of that as well. So Kansas City is going to be the easy answer. And Kansas City is going to be the easy answer for a lot of these receivers, just because how we've seen them struggle the way they have for sure. But yeah, no, I think that would be the easy one there. But no, I expect both these guys to be gone. I think Tyler Boyd's got to be pushing 30 or so, I want to say, because like I said, he's been there. He's the elder statesman on that team for sure. And so I want to say he's somewhere around 30. And so I think if it's time to re-sign him, I'm not pressed to re-sign him unless it's going to be something damn close to the minimum. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think he's a critical part of the offense going forward.
Absolutely.
Oh, and then also Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon took that pay cut to stay and play this year.
Yeah,
but like I said, I thought he was going to be. We talked about. I thought he was going to be. I didn't think he was going to make it to the season. And then I think as this season progressed, especially once Joe Burrow went down, we saw Chase Brown become more and more a part of that offense. And just young fresh legs, young fresh explosive legs, and he's got a speed component that Joe Mixon never had. And so I would think that this is an offense that outside of Chase and Burrow gets a large makeover going forward.
Gotcha. And ZB came out. Zach the Max say, put T. Higgins on his Chargers, man. ZB say he's a new Chargers fan. I kind of like it.
They don't stop wasting receivers on Justin Herbert. That's what we need to do. Stop wasting receivers on them Chargers. That's what
I like that. I don't know if we necessarily wasting receivers because Mike Williams can't stay on the field for nothing. Give me T. Higgins over Mike Williams all day. Mike Williams, man, hey man, we gave you enough chances, man. Go find your play. And the crazy part is they paid the man. Come on,
yeah,
man.
They paid him, yeah.
They paid
and
him.
He's a $20 million guy. They got two $20 million receivers in him and Keenan Allen. They just drafted Quentin Johnston, who that pick kind of fell on their face. They get more production out of the other guy, Josh Palmer. So there's a lot of bodies in that receiver room and for the Chargers. And if I'm T. Higgins, playing with Justin Herbert could be attractive as long as you have the lead. I
don't know if they're going to get him though.
But yeah, no, I don't see it. But like I said, because I think his game's too similar to Mike Evans, and you already invested in Mike Williams, and you already invested in Mike Williams, and so even I don't know if they can move off that contract just yet. I think Mike Williams just signed that contract. Is this the second year of it? And so I don't think they could do anything with it at this time. But yeah, absolutely.
All right, Willie Jack, let's keep on moving, man. We got the Minnesota Vikings in a divisional matchup going to Detroit to take on the Lions. I ain't give you a score.
That's what you give me a score.
My fault. Bengals at home. Give me 23-17. 23-17 from the score of that game.
Gotcha.
Now, let's go to the Vikings and the Lions, man. The Minnesota Vikings, they go to Detroit to take on the Lions. I'm going to go Lions at home on this one. It looks like the starters are going to be playing in this game. Now, they don't have a ton to play for. I mean, it could be for seeding. But that would depend on if the Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys lose, and the Eagles got the Giants, and the Dallas Cowboys got the Commanders. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily see them losing. So that would lock the Detroit Lions into that 3 seed. But I think they're going to come out. They're going to play. And Dan Campbell says they're coming out and they're playing to win. Now I could very well see this being a situation where they play the first half, and he says, all right, that's enough. And takes them out. But I'm gonna go Detroit in this game. I'm gonna go Detroit. I think they win this game at home. I think the starters play at least long enough to take advantage and take care of this game. Nick Mullins is going to be your starter for Minnesota this week. But I just don't think the Minnesota Vikings will have enough in terms of that. The biggest question for the Vikings in the offseason, though, is going to be Kirk Cousins. Or do they plan on keeping Kirk Cousins? Do they plan on keeping him around? Or are they going to try to shop him or let him go? Or is he a guy where they want to bring him back and try to rekindle that connection between him and Justin Jefferson and allow that to be, more of the future for them? So that's going to be one of the biggest questions for them, and then, of course, just the other offseason moves they can possibly make to help improve this team. And the Detroit Lions, man, this is your playoff appearance. This is your chance, so everything is about building off of this week, especially since your starters are playing. Build off of this week, and let's take some of this momentum into the playoffs. But yeah, give me the Lions in this game. I got them winning this one at home. I'll say 27-20 in this game. I think the Vikings can put up a few points. So 27-20, Lions win this one at home.
No, I get you. And so this is kind of like we was talking about earlier, man, with ZB, as far as like, do you play or do you rest starters when you've got a guaranteed ticket to the dance? And so this one's different for me. I'm in favor of Dan Campbell and this Lions team going out here to play this game. Now, but I don't know I think as far as Dan's talking, he's talking like we're playing 60 minutes of ball. Now, I think that's a little much. I think I agree more, kind of like you were saying, treat it like that third preseason game where especially if we go score. If our starters, if Jared Goff goes in and has 2 scoring drives on our first 2 possessions and we're up 14-0, your day's done, buddy.
You good.
Go ahead and sit it down, my dog. Go ahead and sit it down. But for the Lions, I think their situation is a little different because you don't want to go into the playoffs with 2 losses. You know what I'm saying? So they need to get some momentum back. Now, the controversial call last week that we all know in Dallas, and, you had that one in your hands 3 times, you know what I'm saying? Triple down Dan at his finest. But like I said, so you get a very ugly, crushing kind of loss there that could have gave you that would have gave you that number 2 seed for sure, but still kept you in the running for the number 1 seed. And so you lose that one, and now you've got a division opponent coming to your house. I don't want to sit down and go into the playoffs 0-2 either. I just don't. So I'm not mad about them playing in this situation, but it's still got to be played with a everybody's on a pitch count, like you're saying. So I'm with you there. But I'm also taking the Lions to get this done. I'm going 27-13 in this one. I don't like what I've seen from Nick Mullins. Didn't show me too much. I think he had a chance to be a hero a couple weeks ago when they played Cincinnati. And then at the end of that game, I can't help feeling, but he was the guy that just crapped the bed at the biggest moments of that game where they could have won and really let Cincinnati hang around and let T. Higgins make a highlight reel style of touchdown to keep them in that game. But so I don't have much faith there. Aiden Hutchinson's probably coming off of the best game I've seen him play. Last week's game against Tyrann Matthews, not against Tyrann Matthews, against Tyron Smith and Tyler Smith, both those tackles, boy had a day, hat trick. And you know what I'm saying? The spin off the right side gave me shades of the Dwight Freeney. Boy, I got trills when I seen it. Then he also got one on Tyron Smith, who dipped back into that fountain this year and had a very good season on the blind side as well. His best season in the last 2 or 3 years because he's been dealing with injury. And so now Aiden Hutchinson gets a chance to go out with a bang. He's hunting Nick Mullins, who may be prone to make a mistake or so. So I think the Lions do regain their mojo, get a little momentum, and carry that into the playoffs. I'm going Detroit 27-13. And then hold on. Everybody stop the presses. My dog, man, the People's Champ is in the building. The People's Champ is in the building, man. Shout out to the boys, no balls, no glory. He said he's in the building. And on his way through the door, man, he said he's taking the Lions to get this done 21-10. So shout out to our dog, BP, man. We appreciate the love, homeboy.
Absolutely.
Oh, and then also, man, you asked the question. ZB's got one for you. He said he think Kirk stays. JJ loves him, and they will certainly want to keep him happy. What do you think about that, man? This Kirk Cousins situation's not getting enough talk.
So it is one of those situations where I know they were questioning it, but I'm on that side too, Zach the Mac. I feel like I would want the Minnesota Vikings to keep him because one, and I say this all the time, you don't find quarterbacks everywhere. You don't find them everywhere. I think he's really starting to um take a hold of this offense of Kevin O'Connell's. Like he has everything down packed. He's really comfortable in it. Him and Justin Jefferson have developed a great connection, and they still have things to build off on. Like I don't know if Brian Flores is still there at the end of this year, but this team was trending in a direction which was going to make them very, very dangerous. The defense was playing very well. Kirk Cousins was hot as hot can get, and then they had their young guys really stepping up and making plays. TJ Hawkinson, we already know he came over playing some really good ball. He's out for the season now. But then the rookie Jordan Addison was showing to be a really good number 2 receiver.
Yeah,
so
great year.
Everything was coming into place for this particular team, and it all kind of went downhill when Kirk Cousins went out, then Justin Jefferson went out, then a lot of their guys went out, and that's when Kevin O'Connell kind of showed his chops of, hey man, I can hold this together, I can coach some stuff up, and we can still play some competitive ball because they were still in playoff contention, and quite honestly, still are in playoff contention now. There's still some type of possibility they can get in.
I thought when they lost that Packers game, it knocked them out.
Man, they need a lot to happen. Their chances.
They got like 12. Slim. They need like a 12-game parlay to get in.
They need Green Bay, Seattle, and New Orleans Saints to all lose, all of them to lose, and they got to win.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tall order.
Yeah, no, it's a tall order. They still have an opportunity, but I'm just saying, like, overall, Kirk Cousins and what he was able to do in this offense and with this team, with the players around him, man, you're not gonna find too many other guys to come in and replace him and do what he was able to do in this offense. So, hey, you stick with him. You roll with him until the wheels fall off, to maybe till he retires, because he's good enough. I think he is good enough. So I like Kirk Cousins over there with Minnesota, man.
Look at this, man. I remember standing on a cliff by myself trying to defend Kirk Cousins, and man, it was ugly for you, boy, man. But no, I agree as well, man. I definitely think he's definitely done enough. And then I know you gave a lot of credit to Kevin O'Connell for keeping them relevant, and as deserved, because they did. But I think a lot more of this credit, or a lot more needs to be, or well, we both do, Brian Flores in that defense. Like just as much as that offense kept them in these games, that defense stepped up and turned it to a top 10 unit over the back half of the season as well. And so when you lose your stud quarterback, you lose the one of the top receivers in this league as well. Then you lose a guy who was probably playing some of the best ball from the tight end position. I mean, you lose all this, and you have to rely on 2 or 3 different backups. You have to rely on a rookie and Jordan Addison, and now assume the position of number 1. You don't have your old stalwart running back in Dalvin Cook. You didn't get much consistency from the running game at all this year as well. So Brian Flores in that defense definitely a massive part of keeping them in that contention. And even still to this day, they've got a lot. I've got you. They've got a lot going on to try to get there. I don't expect 1 or 2 of those things. Namely, I don't expect them to win this one. Not with Detroit coming out looking for blood. But yeah. So kudos there. But yeah, no, I think you've definitely got to keep them in the building. But the thing about that as well, there's gonna be there's some suitors for Kirk. You know what I'm saying? The Patriots. I mean, we know all the names.
That's a bunch of teams that need some QBs for sure.
I mean, there's a handful of teams that we can rattle off here that would be much improved if Kirk Cousins was their quarterback. And so I don't think it's gonna be one of those things where Minnesota's just gonna be able to kind of like, you know what, Kirk, we changed our minds, man. We love to have you. You know what I'm saying? If I'm Kirk Cousins, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Let me see what they're talking about over here. You know what I mean? So play the game and get money, and get paid. And we've seen Kirk do it. Kirk's not afraid at all to play his cards and cash his bag. We've seen what he did with Washington, going 3 years straight on a franchise tag, betting on himself, and then leaving and getting the first fully guaranteed contract. I know we talk about Deshaun Watson. He was fully guaranteed when he went to Minnesota. And then these last couple of years, they've just added just 1 year and 1 year to that deal, not really wanting to fully commit to Kirk with the whole stigma about whether he can get it done or not in big moments, etc. His Monday night record and all these things. And so Kirk hasn't always been such a sexy name, but like I said, all told, man, he's definitely more than capable of getting it done, as we've seen. And then we've seen if Kirk doesn't get hurt, even while you lose Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson, they're liably still a playoff team if Kurt's the quarterback of this team going forward. And so, I think he stays as well.
Absolutely. On to the next game, Willie Jack. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars going to Tennessee to take on the Titans. I know who you got in this game.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, talk to me, Willie Jack. What's going on, man?
This is the first one I need. And we can just go ahead and kill all the funny business right now. Tennessee, Mike Vrabel. You know you my dog. You know how I feel about your homeboy. I need you to come through for me, man. I need you to come through for me. And then here's the thing for me, Chop, if you could check on me real quick. Is Trevor Lawrence playing or not? Because
I was looking at that right now. He does not show any injury destination, so it looked like he is playing. Christian Kirk, however, is out.
Okay, because I seen they had activated Christian Kirk from the IR, making him eligible for this game, and so I thought there was a chance that they may even. Okay, so he is going to be out. Okay, and it wasn't expected that he was going to be able to come back and play this soon, coming off the injury that he had sustained. I think a core muscle injury. He had that surgery there, so it was going to be tough for him to make it here. But they gave him a chance. Okay, so you got a banged up Trevor Lawrence with the season on the line. You've got a feisty Titans team in Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel's got some of that Dan Campbell in him, where we're not playing for Monday, but damn it, we got a game today, and let's go out and ruin somebody else's day. Like I could definitely see this being a mantra. In a division rival, we're at home. Let's end our season at home in front of our fans with the win. Let's build on something going into this offseason. We think we may have found our young quarterback and Will Levis going forward. And then also Levis, I think Levis was a little banged up here as well. He's going to play?
He was banged up. I will let you know if he's going to play.
Okay. But no, I'm pulling for the Titans in this one, man. My right wing or otherwise, I think the Jaguars are still playing.
He is out. He's out. Ryan Tannehill is a starter.
Okay, and I thought so. And so, yeah, and it's the same thing I said last time Tannehill got to start. Tannehill's playing to see if he has a future in this NFL. Like I say, his starting days are done more or less. But so a good showing before he heads into this offseason could find him somewhere in somebody's number 2 seat, and then maybe he has a chance to revive his career like a Joe Flacco did next year. You know what I mean? So if he's definitely got something to play for. This may be the last time we see Derrick Henry in a Tennessee Titans uniform as well. I'm sure he wants to perform well and go out with a bang in front of his home fans as well. And then, like I said, so I think Tennessee. I'm pulling for the upset, and of course, selfishly, Jaguars lose, my Steelers in the playoffs. So now, enough said, Chop. Enough said. But I'm hoping that Tennessee, in this defense, I'm hoping they can get after a very beat up and injured Trevor Lawrence. Travis Etienne in that run game have been so spotty and inconsistent. You don't have Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley. I don't know if it's been 6 games or not, if it's time for him to show back up. And so I think that this is a very winnable game for Tennessee. I'm taking Tennessee to put my boys in the playoffs. Come on now. And let's do 21-16 Jacksonville. 21-16 Tennessee to put my Steelers in the playoffs.
Gotcha. And if I'm the Jaguars, man, this is one of those games. This is one of those games that scares me. If I'm a Jaguars fan, watching this game, because 1, it's a divisional matchup. You know, it's a divisional matchup. 2, we on the road. 3, I think this is a well-coached team, like my dog Willie Jack likes to say and likes to brag about. But then also, we know the history of Derrick Henry and the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know what I mean? And I think this was a segment that me and Willie Jack talked about a couple years ago. You know, consistently. You know, when the Tennessee Titans faced the Jacksonville Jaguars, it just seems that day was always the day for Derrick Henry. You know, the long infamous runs that we've seen in Derrick Henry's career they're gonna play back when he goes into the Hall of Fame. A lot of Jacksonville Jaguars defensive players are going to be on their highlight reel.
Half his Hall of Fame highlights going to be games against Jacksonville. Half of them.
Absolutely, man. So that game scares me for a lot of those different reasons. And then you still got Ryan Tannehill, who is a veteran quarterback, very trustworthy, will make some good decisions. You know, can him and the veteran DeAndre Hopkins, can them two get some things going against this Jacksonville team? In their hometown, at home. So those are some things that kind of scare me going to this game if I'm a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. But I'm still going to go with Jacksonville in this game, though. The last time Jacksonville played Tennessee, their passing offense looked very good. And you brought up Calvin Ridley. That was the last game Calvin Ridley had over 102 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? So that is going to be key in this game. With Christian Kirk out, it's going to be Trevor Lawrence, how well he can perform. Like, there's another guy in your division, man, that's trying to take your spot as the number 1 quarterback in his division. And he already won.
That's gone. You can book that. That's CJ Stroud division, big dog.
Well, I mean, this year it is for sure. You know what I'm saying? It is this year for sure. And, you being the number 1 overall pick, you were supposed to be the guy that was supposed to be running away with this. So now, more than ever, you have a point to prove. You have a statement to make, and you need to come out here and show that, you are still the quarterback. You're still the standard in this division. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you're going to have to show. You got a lot to prove. A lot of things are riding on this. Doug Peterson, same with you. High hopes for you coming in as the head coach of this team. And I got faith in them today. I got faith in that passing game and Trevor Lawrence are going to come in ready to play. If good Trevor and bad Trevor, we're going to get good Trevor today. You know what I'm saying? So give me Trevor Lawrence with the W on the road to help clinch their playoff spot, man. I'm sorry, Willie Jack, man. I mean, I ain't gonna say sorry because we never know.
You do what you gotta do, big dog.
We never know what's gonna happen with the Bills, Miami, who plays later on tonight. But yeah, I'm going Jacksonville on the road in this game. I think they get that W. I think they put up a few points as well. Give them 30 in this game, 30-20 final score in this game. I think they're able to take care of business on the road to land them a spot in the playoffs.
Okay, hold on. We got a couple comments, man, from my dog, man. BP in the building. He said he's got the Titans playing spoiler today. He's taking the Titans at home 24-21. Of course, my dog, man, terrible time. Hold it down for those Texans, man. He's also pulling for the Titans today. And then we'd be remiss, man, if we didn't Texas to the Super Bowl, man. He had to throw that. It's only been it's week 18, and I think he was talking about this since the draft. So it's only 20 weeks in a row that he's told us that the Texans is going to the Super Bowl. So he's nothing if not consistent.
Hey, well, I tell you what, man. They made the playoffs. That's the first step. The first step is to get in the dance.
In a home playoff game at that, man. And I think you make some good points in this one as well, man. If Trevor and Doug Peterson, like I said, this is definitely a put up or shut up game, man. You guys have had all that momentum coming from last year. You get a playoff win, and now you've kind of almost regressed. You get a chance to still salvage this season, make the playoffs. That defense for Jacksonville is playing very well as well. So this is going to be a tall order for the Titans for sure. And so, but no, I like I said, now 30 points with a beat up Trevor, that might be a lot. But this is it wouldn't be unimaginable at all, man, for Trevor and Doug Peterson to bounce back and get this one done, especially to get into the playoffs for sure.
Gotcha. On to the next game, Willie Jack. We got a toilet bowl on our hands, man. We got the New York Jets going to New England to take on the Patriots, man. And the biggest questions in this game, man, is one, is this truly Bill Belichick's last game? Is it his last game as a Patriots? I truly believe that it is going to be his last game. I think the Patriots need something new. They've been struggling over the last few years. I think it's just time for something new for the Patriots, but also something new for the Bills. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of this season, I think this is going to be the last game, and I think we're going to hear something about, Bill Belichick resigning as the head coach of the New England Patriots after this particular season, man. So what a ride. Of course, we know all the different accomplishments that we'll probably talk about when we get to that point. And then for the Jets, man, the Jets, they're going to have to get in regroup mode. They're in regroup mode. Zach Wilson is not starting this game. Trevor Siemian, I think, is going to be the starter here. And yeah, they're going to have to be in regroup mode. And I think after this season, this is it. This is going to be it for Robert Saleh. Like, this is your last chance. You put together a lot of different things. I think it's put up or shut up next year for them. So everything now for them goes into the offseason. It's thinking about the offseason, what moves are they going to make, how are they going to prepare for next season, and how they're going to be successful. I know they're going to get their guy back in Aaron Rodgers, and I think that's going to be a huge piece to their puzzle. But it's a lot on the line for this New York Jets team going into this offseason. But since this is Bill Belichick's last game, I'm going Patriots in this game, man. I know the Jets defense is good, but the Patriots defense is good too, and they got a better schema. The schema over there in New England, man, the guy that comes up with all the different stuff for the New England Patriots defense is very good, and I think he ends his career as a New England Patriots head coach on top. He gets that W. He rides out into the sunset, Willie Jack, like you were saying, if he's going to do, and I think they win this game. Give them 24 points in this game. I think they win this one 24-13 against the New York Jets.
Yeah, I'm going to be short and sweet on this one as well, man. I'm taking New England, the big bad boogeyman Bill, man. Like I said, the rumors are saying there's no secret. This very well may be his last game at Foxborough. I'm still not convinced, man. I'm still not convinced. I don't think it's as clear cut as the rest of us do, as the rest of a lot of folks do. But I'm taking New England to win this one, if nothing else. And I've got it a little tighter, man. I think an ugly defensive game on both sides. Both these teams struggle offensively. I'm going 17-13. Bill and those Patriots getting done.
Okay, gotcha. On to another divisional matchup, Willie Jack. We got the Atlanta Falcons going to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Divisional matchup. Both of these teams have an opportunity to go into the playoffs, man, or to actually win this division. So it really just depends on the outcome of the three teams that have the opportunity to win this division. You know what I'm saying? So, and it starts here. You know, they have to win this one first. This is the one they have to get done. And I'm going Saints at home, man. I'm going Saints at home. I trust them a little bit more. I like the way their defense has been playing down the stretch. I also like how Derek Carr has been able to at least, you know, do what's necessary to get their offense on the board. I'm going Saints here. Atlanta Falcons, man, I just don't trust you. I don't trust Arthur Smith. We see they flip-flop quarterbacks every other week. They just can't keep any consistency going with this particular team. You know what I'm saying? We already know about the talent. We talked about the talent all year long, but it's just too much. It's too many inconsistencies going around with this team. So that's why I'm going to go with the Saints. The Saints at home, I think they take care of business. And here's the other thing, Willie Jack. I think that, you know what, I'm gonna save it for the next game. I'll touch on this because these teams are all in the same division. So I'm going to give me Saints at home. Saints win this one 23-20. 23-20. It's a 3-point game. They win this one.
23-20. I got you locked in. I got you. And yeah, I'll be quick on this one as well. No faith in Atlanta whatsoever. Nor Arthur Smith. And then New Orleans doesn't make me feel much better, but they are coming off of an impressive win just this last week on the road against Tampa Bay, a Tampa Bay team that was actually building some momentum. You go into their house and you get that done. Now, Tampa Bay did a lot to shoot themselves in the foot in that game as well, but it can't be understated the role that New Orleans and their defense had in a lot of those blunders. And so now the Saints are at home. Familiar division opponent. I expect them to get it done. And I believe they win this game and they're in. Or no, if they win and the Bucks lose, the Saints steal the division. But if the Bucks win, then they still win the division. I think is how the division goes.
Yeah, Bucks control they got control of their own destiny.
Right. Okay, yeah. So the Saints got to have this one to have a chance. And so, and like I said, at home against a wildly inconsistent Atlanta team, I'll take the Saints. And like I said, honestly, man, I my score was pretty similar to yours. I've got 24-17, but well, no, I guess it's a little more spread. But I've got 24-17. I think the Saints at home the Saints at home keep their season alive at least until they see the outcome of the Bucks game.
Gotcha, Willie Jack. And then on to the next one, Willie Jack. They got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Carolina to take on the Panthers. They are on the road. Willie Jack, who you got in this one, man?
Man, I'm thinking.
Who you got?
Oh yeah. I'm thinking Tampa Bay on the road, man, to bounce back, man. So Baker Mayfield, like I said, man, tough game for them last week. They could have sold up this division last week at home. Huge missed opportunity there. And now, what do you get? What did the football guys do for my dog Baker Mayfield? They send him to Carolina where Dave Tepper may throw a drink or two at an unknown fan. Who knows? Who knows what may happen? But so this is a game. There's no excuse. This has to be in the bag. This has to be and I know it doesn't matter till we line up on Sundays. It doesn't matter. You can't win them on paper. You got to show up to. I know all of that. Tampa Bay, Tide Bowls, you can't lose this game, bro. This has to be a dub. And so I don't see outside of you guys just completely just rolling over and playing dead. I don't see how you don't win this game. And so you need to handle business that way. I'm taking Tampa Bay to win this one by a pretty decent margin to kind of get back some of that momentum that they had before dropping the ball against the Saints. I'm going 27-9. 27-9, Tampa Bay really kind of taking control and asserting themselves and winning this division and doing it in a fashion that kind of gives them a little momentum as well before they host a playoff game.
Gotcha. And I got 27-13 in this game, Willie Jack, for the Bucks. I got the Bucks too, and I agree with everything you said. They have to win this game. There's no reason they should lose this. The way the Panthers have looked all season, it just looked terrible. So I mean, I don't have too many specific points in this game. They have to win this game for sure. They have to win this game, and I think this is the game that also. I think this game is going to be the determining factor on the head coaching jobs in New Orleans and in Atlanta. I think this game ends those tenures as head coaches for each of those teams. I think both of those teams end up having to go into the offseason looking for new head coaches, personnel, all those different things. And it's because the Panthers, the Buccaneers win this game here. I also think this secures Ty Bowles at least one more year as the head coach moving forward, as long as they take care of business in this game. For the Panthers, man, it's simple. It's get out of this game and prepare for the offseason. You got coaches to hire. You got a lot of things to think about, and you got to put yourself in position to try to take care of Bryce Young as best as possible. You've already gave up a lot of picks. You don't have your first overall pick, which you would have had this year. So you got an uphill climb. So quite honestly, just being honest, this game should be the least of your worries. Your worries come once the clock hits 0 in the fourth quarter, man. That's when your worries start, and you got a lot of things to figure out here. So I think that's what they need to do and focus on. But yeah, I think the Bucs win this game on the road, take care of business. They win this division, and they host a home playoff game. So yeah, give me the Bucs in this game on the road.
Gotcha.
Awesome. All right, Willie Jack, man, we're about halfway through. We still got a lot left to go in this show. We got some more games to preview. We got performers of the week. We got all those different things coming up, man. So y'all stay right there. We'll be right back. But we got a word from our sponsors real quick.
Today's episode of Let the Film Speak, hosted by the wonderfully handsome and intelligent brothers of Let the Film Speak. That's Chop and your main man, Willie Jack. You feel me? Also brought to you by the three amigos. Y'all know them and you love them, man. That's the three amigos. That's like, that's share, that's subscribe. That's three the hard way. That's the 3-piece spicy. You cannot go wrong. Now, I say the same thing every week, so y'all can say it at home with me. I know y'all ready for it. Here we go. It's three amigos, but it's 4 parts to this process, big dog. First, you just got to tap in. Like my dog said, man, come in, tap in. Just say what's up, man. Just holler. Hey, what's up, three amigos, man? Like, share, subscribe. Hey, Chop, man. Willie, man, what's going on, man? It's cool. I sit on the couch. For sure. Y'all got some cold to drink? Oh, man, my man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, man, I'm a Broncos fan. That's all you got to do. That's it. That's easy. And Chop, come in, sit down, get comfortable, get a cool adult beverage, and let us know who you ride with, big dog. Then tell a friend. Like, man, that's a nice feeling here, ain't it? Man, it's cool, man. My homeboy was out. He was down. Man, it's cool. I can tell a friend. Tell a friend, man. And you know what? Even better than that, you can tell your friend to tell a friend. Guess what? There's more. You can tell your friend to bring his partner to. Bring one more because we need 4, man. Bring them up into the penthouse. Tap in with your dogs, man. Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. You know we don't wear no watches. We ain't got nowhere else to be but in here kicking football flavor with the fam. And now back to the regularly scheduled program.
All right, man. On to the second half of the show. And Willie Jack, really quick, man. I just got some news in from one of the games we just talked about. I don't know if it's going to make too much of a difference for you, man, but Alvin Kamara has been ruled out in this particular game where the Saints play the Falcons at home. So I don't know if that changes anything for you, but yeah, Alvin Kamara is out in this game officially.
No, that don't mean nothing to me, man. Like I said, man, Alvin Kamara has shown to me, man, he's not the guy to move the needle. I had talked about it on the show before. Y'all know what's going on, man. He's a very talented guy, but when we had a chance to put the team in his backpack, he fell under the weight. He was a no-show. I didn't know where he was at. I thought he was going to be the offensive player of the year. I thought he was going to have a chance to threaten 2,500 total. I thought everything had to go to and through Alvin Kamara, and he didn't do nothing but show me that he's a guy that he's not that guy, man. They weren't going to win this game on the back of Alvin Kamara anyway. I can't remember the last game they won on the back of Alvin Kamara. So, yeah, it don't mean nothing to me. Not at all.
Yeah, bro, you're a little bit harsh on Alvin Kamara. But let's go on to this game, man. Willie Jack, this game is a game that I'm really excited about, man. This divisional matchup here, man. And it's not because of what the outcome of this game. It's partially because of the outcome, but also because of how these teams look at this moment. You know what I mean? Bears and Packers has been a rivalry for a long time. It's one we quite frankly don't talk about too often, probably because of the trajectory of the two teams over the last few years. But this has been a rivalry for a long time. And now I think these two teams are headed in the direction where this could become a thing again. You know what I'm saying? This could become a thing where both of these teams could become duking it out for this division or for tops in this division, along with the Detroit Lions now, for a few years to come, with the talent that I see on both of these teams. I talked about Jordan Love last week and how good he's been looking over the last few weeks. Thrown 30 touchdowns this year, man, playing some really, really good good ball, shows the touch, has all the arm talent. He has all those different things. And quite frankly, if he continues this, the Packers got them another one, man. And they keep on doing it. It's one after one. They keep on bringing them in, And if they do, I want everybody to remember that conversation that was had when we talked about how, the Green Bay Packers, why they go draft Jordan Love, they ain't gonna get Aaron Rodgers. Nah, the Green Bay Packers were preparing themselves for their future. You know what I'm saying? Because a wide receiver is gonna help me for the time being. But this quarterback, if he's that guy, oh man, we in the playoffs for some years to come. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna almost lock us in. You know what I'm saying? As a legit contender for the next 15 years. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I want us to think about that. For the Bears, like we talked about last week, Willie Jack, they are the way Justin Fields is playing. It's all about building around him, and doing those different things. Then now you got this defense playing very well. I talked about Eberflus. You got to show up. And this is one of those games, Eberflus. You got to show up, man. Go out and be a spoiler. Go ahead and spoil the chances of the Packers getting into the playoffs by going out here and put a whooping on them. Because quite honestly, you are fully capable of doing that. You got the talent. You got everything in place. Now it's about executing, and which team shows up. So I think this team is going to come out motivated today, and okay. I think they're going to be the team to say, that's it for y'all Packers. That's it, man. Y'all go home. It was a nice ride. Jordan Love, you look good. Your future is still bright, but we're on a different level right now. We playing some different ball. So give me the Chicago Bears on the road, man. I'm going to Bears on the road. I think they spoil those chances. I think Justin Fields has one of his games. Let me throw some nuggets out there for you. Justin Fields, 250 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. 3 passing touchdowns and 50 yards rushing, man. He's going to have one of those games today. He's going to show out. Him and DJ Moore are going to get it going. And it's going to be that today. I also think that the Green Bay Packers are going to show up too. I think they're going to put up some points. This could very well be the game of the week, like when we look back on it, Willie Jack, and say which game was the most exciting. I think this game could be that game because I don't think the Packers are going to lay down. Matt LaFleur and that offense with Aaron Jones and all those young guys that have been trying to do their thing, and the way Jordan Love is playing, Jordan Love wants to show everybody that, hey, man, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't just living in the shadows of some of the greats or one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play in this for this organization. Man, I can really do this. They drafted me for a reason, and he's coming out and he wants to show that at home. And I think the difference is going to be Justin Fields in the way he plays and the way that the defense of the Chicago Bears is playing. So give me the Bears on the road in an exciting game. Give me 31-27, Willie. 31-28. Final score of this game. The Bears take care of business on the road.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I thought you were gonna take the Packers in this one, and I agree with a lot of the stuff you said as far as the progression of Jordan Love, namely after their bye week. I think they really took it up a notch, and he really kind of smoothed out some of his rough spots and rough areas. Like I said, after they came off that bye, and so I think these last 6-7 weeks, we've definitely seen a big uptick in his production and his consistency for sure. But no, I'm taking the Bears in this one as well, and I think this is gonna be the game that really just hammers home or cements the fact to the Bears that we've got to re-sign Justin Fields. I think this is the game that they're on the road. I think he does have a day. And I like the numbers you put up as well. 300 total, 3 touchdowns. I like those numbers as well, so I won't even touch them. But I think this is a game that Justin Fields goes out. Like I said, they're not playing for anything other than, like I said, man, head to the airport with a W instead of an L. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I'm also taking the Bears on the road, man. I really thought you were going to go Packers here. I did. And so I'm taking Bears. I think Justin Fields does have himself a nice day as well. I think Jair Alexander, I expect that he'll be back in this game. They sat him last game for some team conduct issues we never talked about on the show, but I think he's going to be back. And so him and DJ Moore are going to get a chance to lock horns in this game. A good portion of this game, I'd expect. But no, I think this Bears game, man, is just playing. They're playing their best brand of football. Unfortunately, not for a chance to go into the playoffs, but they're playing damn good, man, defensively as well. And so, I like everything you did there. I like what you did there. I don't have as much scoring. What's up?
No, I was gonna say, here's the history behind this. I know you were kind of surprised. Miles was too. Shout out Miles. Miles in the building, man. Miles in the building, man. Showing some love, man. Shout out to Prospect and Precision Payton too as well, man. So appreciate your boy for tapping on in. And I know y'all surprised, but it's a little bit of history behind this pick. And I'm gonna break it down to you. I'm gonna make it make sense for you, Willie Jack. First off, I done talked more recently. I talked about Justin Fields and how I thought and this was last year, how I thought he was going to make that leap last year into being one of the better quarterbacks. And I think I picked him as like I don't know if I said offensive player of the year. I said something like that.
You definitely, I think you picked him for the Pro Bowl to make the Pro Bowl.
Oh yeah, I did. I said the Pro Bowl. You're right. So
Yeah.
I picked him for a Pro Bowl, and I like him. Okay, but here's the other part on to that, Willie Jack, because 3 years ago, when I was talking to my dog Willie Jack, and I was trying to tell the Atlanta Falcons who to go draft, they decided
this guy.
They wanted to go a different route and go get Kyle Pitts.
This guy.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying, they don't even use him. You go draft this 6'6" specimen with tremendous athletic ability, and you don't even know how to use him. You know what I'm saying? So instead, you just let him go to waste. Meanwhile, Justin Fields, he hasn't done much like in terms of awards or accomplishments in the league yet, but it's looking a hell of a lot more promising than your Desmond Ridder quarterback that you drafted.
Oh, that wasn't my Desmond Ridder now, but yeah.
I ain't saying your. I'm just saying
the
Atlanta Falcons Desmond Ridder at this point. And if you would have just listened to me, and instead of getting Kyle Pitts, and you would have got Justin Fields, now you got all these weapons around Justin Fields. You got a great defense. You got an offense. Now you pair the read option with Justin Fields and Bijan. Oh my God, man! See, I tried to tell y'all what I need.
I mean, you know what?
It's all good.
You know what? Look, this is what they say when they say hindsight is 20/20. Chop's hindsight is 20/10. It's 20/10. The boy got eagle-eye hindsight.
What?
Like, because of course, 3 years later we can go back and say that. But also, let's not forget that for the first 2 years of those 3. A lot of folks they've been calling for Justin Fields' job for 2 years before this season, and so it hasn't always been just rosy. You know what I'm saying?
No,
it hasn't always smelled.
But he showed some of those flashes. What I'm saying is, you said my hindsight is 2010. Is that not what I predicted? I specifically said, bro, you don't get Kyle Pitts. Because all it's going to do is put you in the middle of the road, and you're going to keep needing the quarterback because Matt Ryan is not going to be that guy for long. He's on his way out.
But no, that's what I'm saying. Well, but that's what I said, because Matt Ryan had a Peyton Manning fallout. Like that was predicted, bro. Like that.
But here's my thing, Willie Jack. You're not giving me credit for this. Bro. Did I or did I not predict that? I said he's done. Did I not say that?
Well, see, here's the thing as well. See, a broke clock is right twice a day. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. You know what I'm saying? So I'd have felt better about your prediction if you had some type of like qualitative analysis, but instead of just like, you know what? Man, Ryan
you can see it, bro. I told you his arm strength was declining. He didn't have any pocket movement, bro. He was declining. His numbers looked the same, but he was physically declining, bro. Come on, man. You don't want to get to it. You don't want to get to it.
No, I ain't gonna lie. It was in hindsight for sure. Getting Justin Fields in that spot could have worked, but like I said, man, that was at the time I could see, because also this is the thing as well, and a big part of it for me was they had just re-upped Matt Ryan to like 130 mil. You know what I'm saying? Like fresh. He had like a fresh new like 120 whatever that contract was, and like just the writing on the wall. Like that's a move that says we're doubling down, and you know what I'm saying, we're gonna play it out. But no, like I said, but credit where it's due though. You did what's the word I'm looking for? You did hammer home the fact that Justin Fields should have been that pick. I can't front that at all.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you.
You really did. Chop really did. We had like a whole 20 or 30 minutes.
That was one of the ones we argued about for about a good 45 minutes, bro.
We did, bro. No, and Chop did call that. He really did. So now kudos to my dog for sure. And honestly, it's not out of the realm possibility if the Chicago makes a move to go in a different direction, he still could wind up in Atlanta. So it still very well could happen for sure. So that's one of the hottest teams associated with Justin Fields if he's not in Chicago next year. So it still may happen for you, big dog. Listen. And now you know what? He'll have Kyle Pitts and Bijan. So it worked out better. Because now he's got them both. And he's got Drake London.
Hey, you're right, dog. You're right.
So it still might work out. But I'm taking Chicago as well. Like I said, my score is going to be a little tighter. because it is still on the road. It is still in Green Bay. Green Bay is still playing for something. So they're still playing for some style of chance to get into the playoffs. So they do have more on the line, but I'm not lying, man. I really I like where this Chicago Bears team is at, offensively and defensively. And I think this team has really rallied around Justin Fields in a way that maybe ownership still hasn't. And so I think this team it's not often where I think, because professional football, they're professionals. They're just that. These are guys you go to work for. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how many times that you want to do so well that so somebody else you work with can look good. Like, I really think like guys like DJ Moore, who's been in the more vocal in the media, expressing their desire to keep Justin Fields, like coming out and just flat saying like, man, why we got to go get Caleb Williams? We got Justin Fields. Like, more guys are speaking up. And so I think this team is motivated to keep their guy in at the head of that locker room. And I think they can get this done as well, man. Especially I really like what they're doing defensively. And so I'm taking Chicago as well. A little bit of a closer game, but I'm going 27-24. So I'm going 27-24 Chicago to get this done. And yeah, man, I think this is the game, just like you said. I like those numbers, 300 total, 3 touchdowns, still a good mix of his arm and his legs for sure. If anything, I would think maybe a little less passing, a little more running in this type of game. I expect it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be snow, but I think this could be a colder, stiff wind game. And I think this could be that type of game and where we need a little more the legs than the arm. But I think this is the game that kind of more so forces the Bears' hands in the court of public perception and maybe helps them to decide, okay, let's keep Justin in this building and let's see what we can do to put the team around him going forward.
Absolutely, Willie Jack. All right, man, let's go on to the next one, Willie Jack. We got the Denver Broncos going to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Who you got in this one, Willie Jack?
Short and sweet, man. I'll take the Raiders in this one. Antonio Pierce, which it may be his last game as the head coach. He's been an interim guy, definitely salvaged and took and brought this team back to the brink of playoff contention. They got just at that point where maybe they could try to find a way to sneak their nose in, or at least they got in that mix for a few weeks before it fell back out the way. But I think the job, it can't be understated, the immediate turnaround and difference in performance of play from the players, and then of course outcome of games as well, because they started winning some more. They definitely won quite a few more games with him as he came in once he replaced Josh McDaniels. So phenomenal job Antonio Pierce, and I do expect him to go out with a bang. And then Denver, I tell you what, it's a lot of words I want to say to you, but I won't, because this is a child-friendly program.
That's right.
But yeah, man, you reap what you sow. I hope they beat the brakes off you. And then what's the guy's name, man, in Denver? Jarrett Stidham. Yeah, Jarrett Stidham, of course, still making this start. Ain't kind of gonna get his last chance to start. The run game for the Raiders has definitely been a huge impetus in their success. And not just Josh Jacobs, Zamir Whitehead coming off of 2 excellent weeks being the lead back. We saw Devontae Adams have his best game of the season just last week in a tough loss to the Colts as well. And so they're at home. Like I said, I think this is one where maybe they go out with a bang. I know the defensive coordinator had released some style of like public statement. It almost sounded like a goodbye. And so, which may be hinting that Chili Bo Davis is going to go in a different direction as far as the head coaching position goes. Like maybe there's already been some kind of whisperings or something that maybe that there's going to be a change or move made. And then I didn't get a chance to catch it earlier, man. I'm going to give you a score. I'm taking the Raiders, namely on the back of a stout defense. That defense has been playing very well. Max Crosby and some of these guys can finish their season on a high note as well. Robert Spillane playing well. Meek Robinson playing aggressive football as well. And so I think this is they get a chance to kind of like say have a going away party, and we'll see what happens next year. But I'll take the Raiders. I'll take the Raiders 23. I'll take the Raiders comfortably. I'll go 23-16. I mean, one score game, but I don't necessarily have just much faith in Jarrett Stidham to galvanize this offense on the road against a very tough and hard fighting Raiders team. And I think they're playing with more motivation. I think they kind of like we were saying last day. I think this team is motivated by more than just like I said, they're not motivated for playoffs, but I think they want to put on a good show for Antonio Pierce. I would think the players want him to be the head coach on the sideline next year because they've all kind of rallied around him. And so I think they're going to do their best to put their best foot forward and see if they can keep him in the building. So I think the Raiders win this one at home.
Gotcha. And I got the same feelings as you, Willie Jack. I want the Raiders to win this game as well for a lot of different reasons, and I like the level or the motivation that this team is playing with. Essentially, you know what I'm saying, in terms of their ability to run the ball, the fight that I saw in them last week, even with them being down, still going to the last minute, finding out that they need to get the ball to the best player in Davante Adams, getting 20 targets last game. I think they roll into this game doing the same thing, which also gives me a matchup to look at that'll be very intriguing, and something that's kind of a little bit something that started over the last couple of years. We saw Davante Adams and Surtain go at it a couple times last year, and they've been going at it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Davante Adams got the best of him later in the season last year, earlier in the season. I would say Patrick Surtain kind of won that matchup. So I know those guys, if anything, those two are very competitive, and they're going to be chomping at the bit to kind of get at each other and see who can get the best of it. Is it the old savvy veteran on the offense, or is it going to be the young up and coming dog on defense? So I definitely want to see those guys duke it out again and go at each other. Could be the last time. Also, could be the last time we see Davante Adams in a Las Vegas Raiders uniform. You know what I'm saying? Him and I know Josh Jacobs was not even playing, but both of those guys could be gone at the end of the season. So Antonio Pierce is there. He's been trying to put together this thing and show that he could be a really good head coach for this team in the future. And I think this is huge for that reason alone. You know what I'm saying? And for that reason alone, I think that he's good. For the Broncos, they got everything solidified. They're good in terms of they know who their head coach is going to be. They got a lot of offseason moves to make, of course, with figuring out what they're going to do with or what's going to happen with Russell Wilson and all those different things. I think that Sean Payton also wants to put a little bit more of his spin on his team in terms of personnel. So I think we're going to see a few changes there as well. But for as far as what you're playing for, I think the Raiders have a little bit more to play for. This is a divisional matchup. They are at home. So yeah, I'm going Raiders. I'm going Raiders too. And I almost had the same score, Willie Jack. I got 23-21 though. 23-21. The Raiders win this game at home.
Okay, and then hold on. Quick question, man, for you. Our dog man BP, man, shout out to No Boss No Glory one more time. Earlier when we were talking about the pages, he had put this up, and I missed it then, but we got a chance to redo it now. But he's thinking when you were talking about Belichick, this likely being Belichick's last game in New England, he's saying Belichick to the Raiders this next coming season. And I guess I was going to ask you, what's your thoughts on that? And then when this one, I think I could see this. The Raiders being one of those long-standing kind of blue blood style organizations, the Davis family, of course, being integral to just the overall growth and expansion of the NFL. And so I can see that being a move for Bill. And then also the construction of this team, I think, suits Bill Belichick. They've got excellent weapons to build around on defense. You've already got a stud pass rusher in Max Crosby. You've got a gritty, hard-nosed linebacker in Robert Spillane. You know what I mean? You've got a scrappy secondary guy in Amik Robinson. You know what I mean? So they've got a lot of those, and you've got another young safety as well that's been playing pretty decent in Trayvon Mowry.
Yep.
So they've got a lot of those pieces. They've got a run game that has potential. We've seen Zamir White toast boys for 120 yards a game these last few weeks out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And so they've got some things there. But so I don't mind that if it's not Antonio Pierce. And if Bill Belichick's not in New England next year, then I think that makes a lot of sense. I really can see that. I really can. So I'm not mad at that at all. And then I'll throw you another nugget real quick. If Antonio Pierce gets supplanted by, let's say, Bill Belichick, going with my dog BP's suggestion here, then I think Antonio Pierce, I don't know how much heat his name would have around the league on a lot of these other positions or a lot of these other teams that we expect to make a move. But I think he could be a guy that falls into that Carolina job, because I think that's going to be that Carolina job is going to be the last one, the last on the totem pole for any eligible coaches. And I think Antonio Pierce, his head coaching prowess or his name in that circle is the newest and the freshest on the block. And so I think he's behind some of these other guys that have already been building momentum to come in and take over and to be head coaches. And so I think that may be a position that he may be able to get there. And I don't hate that as well either. like just said, like his demeanor to what he's done with this Raiders team that looked all but dead, and so maybe he falls into that Panthers job, man. Kind of a 2-for-1 for you, BP. But yeah, what do you think, man? What do you feel about Belichick getting on these going to the Raiders if as
yeah, I honestly think any of these open jobs could be a good spot for Bill Belichick, just with the strength, just off the strength of who he is and how. I think the thing that matters is wherever he goes, how he can, who he needs to bring with him. Okay, in terms of controlling different things. If he does go to, if he goes to the Raiders, I don't know. I'm just thinking about all different possibilities right now. How awkward would it be for him to say, "All right, Josh McDaniels, I want you back." Josh McDaniels go back to the Raiders, but this time as an OC.
That's hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy to think about. But I think this could be a good spot for him. I like the way that this team, with just the history of this team, with Bill Belichick. I don't like it personally as just a fan, but I think it can fit though. I think it's a definite fit. I mean, it can work. It can definitely work.
I see them pieces, man. It got me to thinking, like, man, they've got some of the cornerstones that
Bill likes.
Great teams.
That Bill likes.
You know what I mean? Like, they have, you know what I'm saying? Max Crosby's his Willie McGinnis. You know what I'm saying? Robert Spillane is his Mike Vrabel, his Teddy Bruschi. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then in the secondary, they had a Rodney Harrison. You had a Ty Law. You know what I mean? And so now Trayvon Mulrig and Amik Robinson, they're not to that level, you know what I'm saying, so to say. But he
got some pieces though. He got some pieces.
They've got those pieces, and then he's always wanted to run the ball. You know what I mean? Like people forget, man, Corey Dillon was a dog in those early Patriots backfields now. You know what I'm saying? And so like I said, now Josh Jacobs, like I said, likely probably out the door. I don't think he comes back. I know you mentioned that. Now Devontae, I think Devontae money's still good. So I don't know if he can move unless they choose to move him, but I don't think that they will, because I think they're going to want to, especially seeing that they're on the brink of being competitive. Then I think they probably want to hold on to him and see if they can revamp and get a real quarterback in there to maybe kind of pick up on this momentum that they finished this year with. And then, man, I know we stood on this one a little long, but we got another comment from our dog Miles. He this is folding back to the Broncos. He says, "Does the rest of that Broncos team go on strike if Russ was more of a locker room guy?" My short answer: hell no. Because, boy, my checks are still cashing, bro. I'm not going to miss a game. I'm not going to miss a six-figure game check for Russell Wilson. I'm not missing a six-figure game check for Patty Mahomes. Or name them. Nobody, like, everybody's got to feed their own family, bro. You know what I mean? And I don't necessarily think that Russ is a bad locker room guy. He's corny. And you know what I'm saying? So we overstated and we tease him a lot about it. Everybody does. He's corny, but I don't think he's a bad locker room guy. You know what I'm saying? But he's just, he's just not everybody's cup of tea as far as maybe personality way. He doesn't. You don't want to chill in the VIP section with Russell Wilson, but I don't think he's necessarily a bad locker room guy. But good, bad, or ugly, or otherwise, I'm not, man. These are grown men with kids, dog. Miles, you a married man yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, you're not cashing no checks because they did me bad at the gig, respectfully. And I wouldn't want you to, you know what I'm saying? Hell no. Yeah, them boys still going out there to play and get paid. And if not for the Denver, they got to still put film on for 31 other teams they might be trying out for. So hell no.
Yeah, I agree with you for different reasons, Willie Jack. I don't think they would have. I think they would have did it if they was going to do it. Because if regardless if he's a locker room guy or not, if the one thing is to win, and they felt that strongly about it, and they felt that strongly about Russell Wilson being their guy, being their quarterback, the guy that got them in the position that they were in, they would have did it. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if they would feel like he was our partner or not, at the end of the day, when we go out here, he's our quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So if that was the case, I think they would have did it either way if they were going to do it. So that would be my reason as to why, if they were to do it. But yeah, I don't see them doing it either. I don't see them doing that. So.
No, for sure you're right.
On to this game. Go ahead, my way. On to this.
No, you're right.
We got the Eagles going to New York to take on the Giants, man, for the last game of the season. I'm gonna go Eagles in this one, Jack. I'm going Eagles in this one.
Yeah.
I think that I don't see many different. I don't know, man. The Eagles have been looking terrible. The Eagles have been looking bad throughout the last 5 weeks of this season. I think they lost 4 of the last 5 games, with the exception of 1. Of course, we know we just got on talking about this loss against the Cardinals last week, which is a terrible one for them. And yeah, they need one. They need one. If there's a team that needs a win to build some momentum, to build some confidence, this is one of those teams that need it. Not to mention they still have an opportunity to win this division, just depending on what happens with this Dallas team. But yeah, the Eagles need a win here. They need it bad.
Yeah.
They get a Giants team that's been struggling. Now their offense has been playing a little bit better now with Tyrod Taylor as the QB, but I don't think that'll be enough to stop the Eagles from coming away with the W. Now, I did get an update. DeAndre Swift is not playing this game. He is out with illness, so he won't be starting this game. But I still think just with the construction of this offensive line and the way that they approach this game, I still think they can come away with the W in this game on the road. So give me the Eagles in this game, 27-21 on the road. They win this one against the Giants.
No, got you. Yeah, I saw that as well. Devontae Smith, gonna miss this one. Yeah, Devontae Smith. Yeah, so he's gonna miss it as well, and I agree. But no, just like you said, man, the Eagles are floundering. A bad loss last week or two of a team in the Cardinals that aren't nearly as talented as you, and I think that was it. That was in Arizona. But yeah, you got to have this one. You got to bounce back. They got to stop the bleeding as they go into the playoffs. I'm taking them on the road to get it done. I do think it is going to be a competitive game for sure. The Eagles aren't playing particularly well offensively or defensively, and I think you're right, man. Tyrod has played a little better here for this Giants team, and so I think they'll find a way to score some points as well, stay competitive. I've got Philly winning on the road 23-20, and then real quick, man, our dog Miles, he's got a prediction as well, man. He's going with the upset. He said he's taking the Giants to pull this one off. Eagles lose by 3, and that might be that Eagles locker room. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of smoke in the news and in the media. And man, another loss to these Giants by 3, man, and we could see some style of implosion in this locker room, man. So, the Eagles are on thin ice for sure.
Absolutely. Hey, and I think, as a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, this game was closer than what a lot of people expected as well. So, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me. It would be another dagger for the Eagles, but it wouldn't surprise me. On to the next one, Willie Jack. We got the Seattle Seahawks going to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Who you got in this one, dog? You go.
Man, I'm taking Big Gino and those Seahawks, man. I think they still have a chance to get into the playoffs as well. I think they win and they're in. And then also, man, Big Gino's got $2 million worth of bonus riding on getting to these playoffs. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So hey, $2 million is a big chunk of change for anybody for sure. And so, but more than that, you definitely want to go to the playoffs. But then if you can have that be a cherry on top to get there, you got a division opponent. It is on the road. Cardinals coming off of a huge emotional win for them. Their coach going back, beating his old team, and etc. All that good stuff. But I'm looking for Seattle to pick up this win and get themselves in the playoffs on the road. Like what we're seeing from Arizona, man, that run game with James Conner's got going. They're getting production from Trey McBride, and Greg Deutsch was the guy who led that receiver room, because that receiver room's been terrible for the bulk of this season. But I'm taking Seattle to bounce back after losing to my Steelers last week. I'm going to give you a score. I'm going to go 24-21. 24-21 on the road. Seattle punches their ticket to the dance, and Big Gino cashes a $2 million check.
Okay. I'm going to go 24-21 as well, Willie Jack, except I got the Cardinals, man. I got the Cardinals sealing the deal and shutting off the Seahawks from making the playoffs. And here's the thing, Willie Jack. It's not necessarily a win and in for the Seahawks, because right now the Seahawks on the outside looking in, and if the Packers win and the Seahawks win, the Seahawks are still on the outside. You know what I'm saying? So it really depends on what the Packers do. So they need the Packers to lose, and they need to come away with a W in this game. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That's the only way the Seahawks can get into the playoffs. They got the tiebreaker over the Saints. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they will get in as long as they win and the Packers lose. You know what I'm saying? So
don't worry. Good thing the Bears are winning today. It's all good.
That's right. Except the Seahawks are losing too, because Cardinals gonna take care of business, man. I like the way Kyler Murray is looking, man. I like how they, what they did last week against the Eagles. I came up a win that way, and I think they're gonna be ready to come out here and spoil some people's chances of getting in the playoffs, man. Mm-hmm. I don't like what the Seahawks has been looking like the last few weeks, man, and it's been a rough go. And I just right now I can't trust Geno Smith, Willie Jack. I can't trust Geno Smith, and I think this is going to lead to what the future holds for the Seattle Seahawks. Do they continue to roll with Geno in the future? You know what I'm saying? And then I think we're going to see a lot of personnel changes with the Seahawks team in the off season too with some of their weapons. So I think it's going to be the beginning of that. So yeah, give me 24-21 Cardinals at home. They knock off the Seahawks.
Bet. Got you.
On to the next one, Willie Jack. We got the Kansas City Chiefs going to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. And I'm going Chiefs on the road, man. The Chiefs have already came out. They said they're going to be resting some of their players. I'd imagine it's going to be Kelsey. Mahomes is not going to be playing. I didn't see anything about Kelsey, but I don't think Kelsey's going to be playing if they're resting Mahomes. So I think they're going to be resting some of their top guys. But the Chargers are already playing with some backups. And if it comes down to it, man, hey, I trust Andy Reid and that scheme over the Chargers scheme any day of the week, man. Also, the Chiefs defense has been playing a lot better, so I still going with the Chiefs on the road to get this W. This game doesn't change at all where the Chiefs stand in terms of the division. They're still the 3. They're still going to be the 3 seed regardless. So yeah, give me the Chiefs in this one. They win this game on the road, 26-18. Give you a funny score there, 26-18. Asking my final.
Gotcha. No, I got you. And I'll be short and sweet as well. The battle of the backups. I know Easton Stick is starting for the Chargers. I'm trying to think. What's the dude? Blaine Gabbert. Is it Blaine Gabbert starting for the Chiefs?
Blaine Gabbert.
Okay, yeah, there we go. So former Mizzou quarterback as well. Absolutely. So now he's playing with kind of the hometown Chiefs. And so now he'll get his first start of the season. I'm taking Kansas City to handle business as well. I'm going 20-13. Chris Jones also has a lot riding in this game. So he's going to be one of those key players that is going to play. I think he needs one more sack or another half sack to trigger like $1 million bonus for him, or 1.25 or 1.5. And so with the whole saga of them re-signing him and giving him all those incentives we talked about to start the year, he needs another either half sack or full sack in this game. So he's going to be out there hunting for sure, and I think they get it done. But I'm going Kansas City 20-13.
Absolutely, Willie Jack. Absolutely. Now we're rolling. Now let's talk about the Los Angeles Rams, baby. They go to San Francisco to take on the 49ers, man. This game has a lot less steam than I wanted it to have it this morning. I wanted it to be one of those games where, you know what I'm saying, both teams need their players on the field. Both of those teams need to get out there and show me something, because I wanted Matthew Stafford to outduel Brock Purdy so bad, to show everybody that I've been watching this thing and Matthew Stafford's been playing at the top of his game, man. But yeah, instead we get Carson Wentz versus Sam Darnold. And I'm going to Rams. I'm still going Rams. You know what I'm saying? Because it's Sean McVay, baby. Sean McVay is going to do his thing. And then also, here's the thing, Willie Jack. Matthew Stafford is getting older, man. I know Carson Wentz has been going through a few different things, and he's been shown like he's kind of lost it. But under an offensive coordinator like this, I think this could be an opportunity for Carson Wentz to kind of show that he still has some value in this league. And then also, I don't know, does he hang around with the Rams? You know, the Rams had an opportunity to get him as the first overall pick. They went with Jared Goff instead. I wonder if Sean McVay has a little bit of that feeling of, I wonder what it would have been like to get Carson Wentz. So he has that opportunity. Carson Wentz gets his start. You called it, Willie Jack. Puka Nacua is going to play this game. So, and he's like 30 yards short. He's only like 30 yards short. So it's going to be like a first quarter or first half type thing. They're going to get him his catches and get him up out of there. I hope they get him up out of there. Kyron Williams is out. Kupp is out. Of course, Stafford is out. So they're sitting some guys. So that's what's going to happen in this game. 49ers are starting Sam Darnold. And I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction real quick. I'm going to drop a couple of nuggets. Carson Wentz throws for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns in this game. All right, I'm going to throw that out there. Also, not necessarily stats, but I ain't going to say that because some of the offensive line will be out. Never mind. I'll just live with the Carson Wentz one, man. But I am going to be paying attention to how this 49ers offense look with Sam Darnold because of their well-oiled machines. I'm just going to put that out there, baby.
Well, if you don't give me this toilet bowl score, come on with it.
I ain't give you a score. My bad.
Yeah,
because they in the starters playing. Give me the Rams 26-23.
26-23. Ooh. Okay, a lot of field goals, and then I'm gonna take San Francisco at home. And honestly, it's just like you said, it's a machine, and so I trust the machine with Sam Darnold and Elijah Mitchell, who's shown even when C-Mac went out before, he can still produce on the ground. And I think, as far as I know, I haven't seen anything about Ayuk, Debo, or Kittle being rested for this game. And so if he still got that full plethora of weapons, I know Trent Williams is playing in this game. If Trent Williams is playing, then I don't know if the rest of those guys are going to be sitting. And so I think that
it look like all those guys are playing, Willie Jack, and it look like they might have to, because Juwan Jennings is hurt, Ray McLeod is the guys that would be replacements are all kind of banged up.
Yeah,
you know, so they have to play.
Yeah, and so so I think Darnold's going to have he's going to be closer to the full strength of the actual team as well. So I think it's going to be easier going for him. And I think they're just a better team at home. I still think that defense that defense is still going to be there to make it tough for your Rams. But I'm going 27-13 San Francisco to get this done.
Gotcha.
Oh, and you know what, man? Real quick, your rookie Kobe Turner. I've kind of dropped his name a couple weeks for the last couple weeks. He's been getting some pretty good production. He's firmly in the race for defensive rookie of the year. He's got 9 sacks right now, and so I'd like to see him get a sack, man. Get double-digit sacks, 10 sacks as a rookie nose tackle as well, man. The kid from Wake Forest, and I think he gets to that 10 sack number, man, and maybe he gets that defensive rookie for himself as well. So that came out of nowhere because, like I said, with the names we know, Jalen Carter and Will Anderson being the guys that everybody knows those names. I'd like to see a guy like Kobe Turner come out of nowhere and get that, man, especially if he gets the 10 sacks. I think that may be enough to put his name in that room.
Gotcha. All right, we'll see. On to the next one, Willie Jack. We got the Cowboys going to Washington to take on the Commanders. Who you got, dog?
Man, Dallas on the road, man. And so Dallas on the road, I think I don't necessarily know if they're quite playing for something. No,
they are, because they playing for the division, because the Cowboys have to win this division. If
the
they
Eagles
lose,
can still win the division.
They got the same record, bro. They got the same record.
Okay, yeah, man. The Eagles it feel like the Eagles been losing so much here lately.
It's the recency bias, man. People forget how the Eagles was running through everybody.
I mean, they started 10-1, but man, it feels like they done lost 5 in a row. I guess they done lost like 3 out of 4.
They lost 4 out of 5. They lost 4 out of 5.
Okay, 4 out of 5. I'm about to say, like, yeah, it feels.
I mean, but also don't forget, we are talking about the Cowboys now. The Cowboys ain't been smooth.
Dallas is known to Dallas now. Hey, you make a good point. Dallas is known to Dallas. But, man, I tell you what, I think Dak and CeeDee Lamb have a day. This is good. This is going to be my nugget for the day, man. I think CeeDee Lamb finishes this game. Right now, I think he's like 60 yards behind Tyreek Hill for the reception yards leader. And I think right now CeeDee Lamb is leading the league in overall just receptions. And so I think he has a big day. I can't tell you how many ghosts are still running in the back of Washington's end zone, man. Y'all know all them names. And CeeDee Lamb is playing just as hot or hotter than any receiver in the league. And I think these Cowboys go on the road, they get a W, they get some momentum, they lock away this division, which is going to give them the number 2 seed. And so I think they go out there with something to play for, and this is a very game defense to do it against. So I'll take the Cowboys. I think they're gonna score some points in this one, man. I'm gonna go 30-17. I also think it's a game defensively. Michael Parsons, I don't know if he's been a little quiet here for sack production. This is a game. Sam Howell and anybody who's been playing in a Commanders jersey been getting teed off on, man, with one of probably the worst offensive lines in football. So look for Michael Parsons in that defense. Deron Bland, you mentioned him earlier. We haven't said his name as well. He might get his hand on the ball today as well. So I think this is all around a big day for the Cowboys. And, I said 30-17. I'm going to scratch that. 30-10. I think they win this one going away. Ron Rivera, this your last hoorah, bucko, before you get on out of there. But 30-10, Cowboys win big. Look for CeeDee Lamb to touch about 130 yards. Give him 2 touchdowns. And I'm looking for Michael Parsons to get about a sack and a half. And I think Deron Bland probably gets his hand on the ball as well.
Okay. All right. Well, give me 38-10 with Jack. Give me 38-10. I agree with you. And the biggest thing with this game, man, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it, is Dallas just can't Dallas. You know what I'm saying? They are known to Dallas, and Dallas just can't Dallas, because this could very well be one of those games where Commanders come out there playing with nothing to lose, nothing to win. They're just playing free, and somehow Sam Howell has one of the games of his life, and he leads the Commanders to victory. You know what I'm saying? And
hey, I love to see that.
The Cowboys end up not winning the division because of that. So now they drop to the 5 seed, and they got to go see. Well, they got to see Tampa Bay Bucks, but so that'll be whatever. But that's where they stand there. But yeah, give me Cowboys in this game. Though. I think they handle business, and it's gonna be a show. It's gonna be a show. I would like to see them get the run game going because their run game has been atrocious. But yeah, I think the Cowboys take care of business pretty easy. All right.
Man, hell no. Hey, I don't want to run the ball against this whack ass Commanders secondary. Man, let's go air that thing out.
Nah. This ain't even about putting on the show. This is about getting ready for the playoffs. And if these boys all they got to do is pass in the playoffs, they in trouble. They is in trouble. But yeah. All right, Willie Jack. Let's go ahead and get to this game of the week, man. We got the Bills going to Miami to take on the Dolphins. What's up, Willie Jack? Talk to me, dog.
Man, this is it, man. It all comes down to this. The Buffalo Bills been playing playoff football for about 2 months now. I mean, it feels like so they really kind of dug themselves into a hole with the way they kind of floundered early in the season. They make the offensive coordinator change. They find a way to rally, and then here of late, they've even found a way to win ball games. Not on necessarily the back of Josh Allen. And so we've seen that defense step up big, namely in this last Patriots game. We've seen that running game come to life and show us a couple flashes with James Cook. And so now you've got all the marbles here. They can be the number 2 seed if they win, or they can miss the playoffs if they lose in totality. And if you're the Dolphins, same thing, man. You had a lot of promise to start this season, and now your season, they're going to make the playoffs, win or lose, but you have a chance to be at home for these playoffs, or if you're going to have to travel on the road and make it more of an uphill battle. The Dolphins are a little beat up in this one. You lost Bradley Chubb. Tua Tagovailoa, he's beat up as well. His shoulders are hurt. Man, there's so Raheem Mostert, he's out this game. He's one of the league leaders in total touchdowns. Jalen Waddle's beat up, didn't play last week. Tyreek Hill's been a little up and down here to close out this season. So there's a lot going on for both of these teams. I'm taking Big Josh. One more for the road, Big Josh. I'm taking Big Josh because Jacksonville's going to lose to get my Steelers in, so I'm not going to have to go against my dog, Big Josh. I'm taking Big Josh to go on the road in Miami, get this done, win that division, and to do it with a score of 27-23 in a very tough, hard-fought division matchup with the division on the line.
Gotcha, Willie Jack. Hey, and I'm rolling with you, dog. I'm rolling with you, man. And I know you mentioned a lot of those guys that were banged up, man. It's been shown likely that these guys are out already. So Raheem Mostert, he's not looking.
Yeah, he's out.
He's going to play. Jalen Waddle is not going to play. Xavier Howard is already out. They lost both of their defensive ends. So all those guys are out. And then of course, I think you already mentioned Javon Holland being questionable. Jerome Baker is questionable. Their linebacker. So it's rough over there for Miami. This is just it's bad timing. Bad timing for them. But Bills, you still have to show up. You've been looking inconsistent the last few weeks in terms of, how you're producing points. Now it could be a good thing because if you're able to come and put all of those things together, then you guys are gonna be dangerous in the playoffs. It could get real ugly if you guys can put everything together. And I'm looking at you as a real contender, but you have to be able to do that. But this is the perfect setup for them going into this postseason. This can be a confidence booster. And I'm rolling with the Bills as well, Willie Jack. I think this is one of those games where the Bills find their way, sneak their way into the number 2 seed. That's crazy.
Number 2 seed out of everything. That's crazy.
Out of everything that's been going on with this Bills team, they could end up with the number 2 seed, host pretty much every playoff game unless they go and they have to play Baltimore as they go through the playoffs, which they would have to go to Baltimore at the end, but they can host all.
And that would be to the AFC Championship.
And that could be real dangerous for any team that for teams that have to go and see Josh Allen in these playoffs, man. So I'm going Josh Allen to win this game. If they lose, you know what I'm saying? Depending on all the other things that happen, they could very well be out of the playoffs. I think that may be the largest margin of like where you can finish at the end of the season that I've ever seen.
2 seed or at home.
The 2 seed or at home, dog. Just
that's crazy.
Bills falls in these playoffs, man. So
that's crazy.
So yeah, I'm going Bills here. I think they went on the road. I'm gonna go to 31. This Miami Dolphins defense hasn't been the best, but then also you put it on top of that. They missing all these players. Yeah, get them, No, give him 34. My fault, Willie Jack. Give him 34 points in this game. And I think Tua tries to compete. They try to put up some points, but I think they fall off later in this game. 34-24. I think they end up winning this game by 10. And towards the end of the game, it's not as competitive as a game as most people think it's going to be. So yeah, give me the Bills on the road. It's going to have to be Tua, Hill, and Achane. Those are the three guys. They got to show up today. If they don't show up, that's it, man. That's going to be it. That's this season. So.
No doubt, man. And then real quickly as well, man, how long has it been, Chop, since we've seen Big Josh and Stephon Diggs, man, get back to it, man?
It's been a while. It's been a while. And I'm glad you said it because I forgot to give my performer of the week because I got to give my performer of the week.
Okay, come on with it.
Real quick, Josh Allen. That's why he's my performer of the week. Josh Allen is my performer of the week. Give him over 300 yards. I give him all four of these teams are the touchdown. I don't know if it's going to be 2 on the ground, 2 in the air, 3 in the air, 1 on the ground, whatever. He's going to have all 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards in this game, in the biggest game of the year for him this far.
Yeah, and exactly right. And I was going to piggyback at as well, but I don't know as far as the yardage of the touchdowns. I think this is a game in which I think we do finally see Allen and Diggs get it back going. But also, I think this game is ripe also for James Cook to have himself a big day. I think James Cook can have a style of put me in the minus C-Mac, man. 150 combined and 2 touchdowns in this game. I think this is a game in which James Cook, maybe it's going to be 80 yards rushing, 70 yards receiving, a touchdown each way. But I think he can get this going with all the injuries, especially to that front line of the Dolphins as well. And then also I think this is a game in which we can see Stephon Diggs touch 100 yards and get in the end zone as well, because it feels like it's been so long since we've seen him perform that way. So I'm with you there, man. And then, yeah, anytime Josh is balling and doing this thing, I love to see that. So I'm with you.
Absolutely, Willie Jack. Hey, well, that's it. That's all. I just gave y'all my performer of the week, so I'm not going to recap it real quick. Willie Jack gave us his performer of the week for the Saturday games. You know what I'm saying? He gave us that performer of the week. Willie Jack, you want to recap anything before we get up out of here?
No, man. Like I said, man, I think we did pretty good, man. Like I said, I had chose CJ Stroud to be my guy, and he got it done last night in exciting fashion. 75 up top right out the gate, man. And so he played well, and then we'll see how Josh does tonight with all the marbles on, with all the chips on the line for sure. Man, real quick, man, 'cause I know it just touched 12 o'clock. Me and Chop, we was on time today, boy. We was trying to make sure we got there. So kickoffs are just now starting. Real quick with the rundown, man. We're gonna let y'all get out of here. Man, shout out to my moms for sure. First one in the door as well. We appreciate you, lady. Our dog, man, our favorite coworker, ZB Zach the Mac was in this thing as well. Appreciate your homeboy. Man, our dog, man, BP, no balls, no glory. The people's champ. He was in the building for sure. Man, my dog, Terrible Time Walker in them Texas, holding them Texas down. He was in the building for sure. Our dog, Miles of Mac, Prospect Precision Paint. Tap in, man. Tap in with my dog to get a chance. And then other than that, man, y'all have fun. Week 18 is here. The last week. I know a lot of y'all still got a chance to get into the dance like my Steelers do, man. So I know y'all be watching to pay attention. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Enjoy yourselves. Peace.